Welcome to Horror Cinema Obsession. Here, we dive deep into the chilling depths of horror cinema, from the critically acclaimed scares to the laughably ludicrous, and even the delightfully obscure. Now, let's join our hosts, Richard and Angelus, as they share their love, laughs, and sometimes sheer disbelief at the world of horror movies.
Here we go.
Ba, 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 ba.
Man, I am your host, Richard Antahoni Cantabile.
You changed your...
And
you didn't change your name.
This is my beautiful co-host. You're looking gorgeous as ever, Angelus Diaz Jimenez. How are you doing?
It's like the... Oh, babe.
Say my last name.
Cantabile.
You said it wrong.
Easy peasy. No, it's not. We've had this conversation.
You said that shit wrong,
Hello, people.
People of Earth.
People
Hello,
of Earth.
listeners.
And any other planets. If there's any other planets listening right now in other worlds, welcome to Horror Cinema Obsession. You're all welcome here.
You're not overlooked. We see you in...
Do you see them? They're invisible.
No. We see you in Idaho. We see you in Oregon. What's up? I'm not pandering.
Oh,
North, South Dakota. What's up, guys?
Arizona.
Oh, for sure. Arizona, heavy hitter down there. We love you guys.
I was talking to the other universes, but it's cool, Richard. Bring it back to Earth.
Yeah. I'm just trying to shout out, Minnesota. That's okay. Cool. Cali, what up?
Well,
just name all the
Texas.
states. Oh, Texas.
You can't forget about
we have
Texas.
a big following in Texas. We love you guys.
Texas, New Mexico?
No, for some reason, not New Mexico. It jumps. Arizona, not New Mexico, Texas. Louisiana, they like us.
Where else?
Where else?
Tell me more.
Well, obviously our backyard here in Washington.
Who?
Washington. Or, like my grandpa likes to say, Washington.
Washington? Magical.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I love it.
Anyways.
This feels weird.
Why?
I feel like I haven't done this in forever.
I know. We did it, last Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday to Friday is over a week.
Yeah. It's been a little bit. The turnaround was weird. We just got back from a vacation. We took a 5-dayer. I had to beg you to stay an extra day.
I know.
Which was worth it, I think, in my opinion.
You loved it?
How'd you like the vacation?
I liked it. It was good. We learned a lot of things about Portland. It's staying weird.
Definitely. I love it.
We did a ton of walking.
We got to shout out Jackpot Records. They were awesome. I got two potential giveaways, mini giveaways that I'm going to do.
Yeah, we found goodies.
Yeah, they're going to be awesome. And then we got where else did we go? We went to a couple oddity store I wanted to give a shout out to.
Yeah, so we have, let me look up the places. First of all, if you guys are ever in Oregon and you want some fucking bomb-ass pupusas.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Pupusas Montalvo. On Martin Luther King Boulevard, I think it was. Bomb, cheap. That lady was amazing. She was so sweet. She made it fresh.
Yeah, best Pazuzus ever.
Pazuzus, Pupusas.
Pazuzu.
Sweetest lady. Go support them. She said she's been open for 6 months.
What's her business called?
Pupusas Montalvo.
Oh,
I just said the name.
I don't know. I thought you were just saying Pazuzu.
No, Pupusas Montalvo. That's the name. And then we went to... Vienna, what was the name of the first oddity store? Oh, she forgot.
We're terrible. We're terrible.
We're terrible?
Well, anyways, while they look that up, we had a good time. We went to Seattle, went and see Metallica.
Oh, the Skeleton Key Auditorium was one of them.
And we got pictures we're going to send out too. I know you guys are like, oh, great, we're going to see these guys' bougie lives. But it's not that. We're not rich or anything, but we did get to see some cool stuff.
What I learned is we like to travel and see the weird things wherever we go.
Exactly. And we got some weird pictures. I love it.
Dead people pictures, as Richard calls them.
Yeah, I got my roommate hair.
A hairnet.
And then a picture of a dead guy. It was awesome.
It was pretty cool. We talked to a doll that talks to you from the death. It's possessed.
Yeah, that was
the one that rang the little bell.
That was intense.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, but besides that, I mean, it was a kind of a short week for us. How'd the rest of the week go? We got back and
It was fast and
Fast and
crazy.
Furious.
Yeah. And then it was over.
I mean, we just got good news too. We just put another offer in a bunker. This one we made sure that we can get. So it's looking pretty good. We definitely didn't go through Canopy Mortgage.
Oh my gosh, you're still.
Hey, screw them. But no, I'm excited. We're going to have a new recording studio in no time. It's going to be sweet.
The first store was called Pecularium. Pecularium.
Pecularium, yeah.
Pecularium for the what? And true? Freaky but true.
Yeah, that one's fun too. Guys, check that stuff out if you're ever in Portland. Anyways, so yeah, my week was pretty fast. It went fast and furious. Thank God.
Long weekend.
I was kind of limping to the finish line here. Getting back to work was, it took a little bit. Had to get a little bit of momentum. But I'm glad I did. I got to hang out in Pullman Friday. That was always fun. Anyways, coming back though, this was a fairly easy one to come back to. I was excited to see this was on the docket.
You were?
I know there's a bit of controversy because I want to do another version of this, but you know what? It's down the road. I've kind of come to terms with it. We got it out. Our listeners spoke up too. It was kind of split, so
shout out El Chico Loomis and Lord Pineapple Doodles.
For sure. We just brought in Lord Pineapple. That was
hilarious.
hilarious.
I was like, we're bringing them in. They've been talking about Child's Play for a while too.
Yep. And then, so yeah, what movie are we covering today?
Child's Play 3.
What?
Just kidding, 2. I wanted to see your reaction. Sorry, toying with your emotions too soon.
Child's Play 2, guys, if you're
Too
confused. It's not too soon. I'm just not trying to confuse the listeners here. Child's Play 2, I'm excited. This is one of my favorites. I've kind of come to the realization the Child's Play movies, I enjoy almost all of them. Besides maybe the 2019 one where Don Mancini had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are fun, and it just gets more and more fun as the franchise progresses. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Nope. I like it. I don't think I've watched the 2019 one, to be honest. So I've heard
I tuned out. I watched 5 minutes of it and said nope. But it's not because I didn't give it a try. I think I was in the middle of something.
Oh.
So I just stopped watching. I wasn't invested, but at that point I didn't like what Chucky looked like. I didn't like the route they were going.
I keep hearing bad things about it. I haven't seen it. I stuck to all the originals, and then when it toured into the whole Chucky's Bride, Chucky Seed, and the TV show. I watched a lot of it. I need to go back and finish the last season and a half, I think.
Of the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen the TV show.
It's pretty good.
Is it? I'll have to watch that. Andy comes back in the TV show, right?
Yeah, and then he's also back.
And Kyle comes back from Child's Play 2, baby.
And he's also back in, I think, Cult of Chucky. There's a couple of the newer ones that he was in.
And we'll cover Alex Vincent, man. I like him. He's one of the goats.
For real. For
rizzles. Anyways, so yeah, well, let's get into it. Child's Play 2 takes place in Chicago. I love that. It had a budget of approximately $13 million. It grossed around $35.8 million at the box office. For a horror sequel, especially at the time, that's a solid return of investment. The success helped cement Chucky's place as a horror icon and paved the way to more sequels in the Child's Play franchise. It's impressive how the character has remained popular over the years. Like, you say Chucky, even small kids that probably haven't even seen the movie
they
know who Chucky is. They're like, oh, God.
It's that crazy little killer.
That, if listeners, longtime listeners, if you've been with us since the beginning, you've heard me talk about it. That was my entryway into horror. It would be on, and this movie in particular, USA, for whatever reason, the USA Network would be playing these Friday, Saturday at night, late night, and we would be up, me, my cousins, my brother, we'd stay up, we'd fall asleep on the floor in the living room, and my mom would be watching TV on the couch. She would get tired, go to bed, but she'd leave the TV on. but she never thought to change the channel, to Cartoon Network or
like, little
Nickelodeon.
suckers.
But yeah, she would just leave it on USA Network, go to bed, and then I would just hear Chucky, the Ade Due Damballa or whatever.
What is it?
Damballa.
Damballa.
I would hear that, and I'm like, oh, not today. I would scream on the top of my lungs. But that's what got me into horror. Sickly was that I was intrigued. I was frightened, but I was intrigued.
You liked it.
I'm sorry, but we're going to get into it. When Chucky rips his arm off in the cage and he's screaming and he's got blood squirting out of his stump, that would freak any small child out.
Yeah.
This movie came out in 1990. Mm-hmm. So I was born in 89. So I seen this in like 94, 95. What, I'm 5 years old? That's pretty traumatic, man. It's silly now being an adult, but as a kid, Jesus.
Yeah, and I think as a kid, you're so wrapped up in the horror, especially back then. We didn't have as many special effects with so many crazy, realistic looking things.
Well, you're so young and naive.
Now, and you're young and you're focused on like there's this killer doll coming for this kid that like all the adult humor just goes over your head.
Yeah.
Where now you get to enjoy it a second time, like both a little bit of like, oh yeah, there's a horror, but then there's all the jokes, like especially number 2, you're like, haha.
Oh yeah, they really start amping it up.
I love that.
No, yeah, when you're young, it's intense. It's graphic.
Mm-hmm.
When you're just seeing this doll that you're used to toys, and you know what toys are, but then when they start attacking you, it gave me freaking nightmares. Guys, again, I had not a good guy doll. I had a My Buddy. And around this time, and man, that motherfucker tormented me forever. It was in my closet. I hated it. I wouldn't go in my closet if I seen the dude. We ended up getting rid of it. I don't know what happened. I think we threw it away, or I threw it away, but I just couldn't take it after Child's Play. I might have performed surgery on him, to be honest with you.
Did you cut it up?
Him and Barney. I remember cutting Barney open with my brother playing doctor, and we cut him open, and he did not make it because we heard my mom come in, and we threw him out the window. And my mom was like, "What the fuck? Why is Barney out here all tore up?"
Dude, I think Vienna had a realization the other day of what my childhood looked like. We were scrolling through TikTok, and there was a video of Barney singing the songs from the show, and it was like, oh, you're a 90s kid if you sing along. I sing along to the entire thing, and she just kept looking at the video and giving me weird eyes like, what Barney the fuck is going on? And I was like, just fucking trolling along. I was like, I love this song. So, of course, I went down the rabbit hole, and then we played like 3 more songs from Barney and then knew all the words, and she was
Barney
like,
was international?
Cool, dude. Yes.
That's awesome. That's
en
cool.
español.
Dude, Lucas would go crazy.
Si
over
las
Barney.
gotas de lluvia fueran de caramelo.
Oh my God.
What song is it? It has the same song, the same tune, just different words.
Man.
Me gustaría estar ahí, abriendo la boca para saborear. No?
I don't know.
The
man.
raindrops.
Oh.
Candy raindrops.
I remember Barney was freaking huge though when we were
huge.
kids. Oh my God.
My lord.
Man.
I liked it.
But yeah, no. So this was an epic movie. 1990, we've covered another movie in 1990, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we're gonna cover more.
It was the spider one.
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
So this was a good year for horror. I was looking at it, and some of the movies that came out.
Did you bury Barney and Chucky in your house like you did with the Ninja Turtles?
No, the Ninja Turtle action figures. I had every Ninja Turtle possible. They'd be worth big money right now if I kept all my Ninja Turtles. But I buried them like a dog. And my stepdad...
Come here, Richard.
My stepdad redid the lawn like 10 years ago, and he's like, dude, I keep finding these turtles everywhere. I'm like, oh, that's where I did hundreds of them buried in the lawn.
That's
but
nice.
no, Barney, we threw him out the window into the street, man.
Oh.
After open heart surgery was unsuccessful.
Poor Barney. What did it ever do to you? Just wanted you to have a wholesome, loving.
I know, but when you're watching
picture.
when you're watching ER and you're really getting into it, it happens.
It happens, I guess.
But yeah, no, horror movies that came out, this was the year Misery came out.
Ooh.
That was a good one. It, the miniseries. Have you seen that one? The original one?
No.
You haven't seen the original. You've
Not
just
the
seen the new one?
TV miniseries?
Do you
No.
remember the Tim Curry?
I watched the movie.
So before it was a movie, it was a miniseries.
Oh, no.
It was on TV, but then they did make it go on VHS.
I did not watch the series.
I
Is it
remember
good?
watching it on TV. You've seen it. It's the old one.
What are you talking about?
So you have it, the new one, right? Chapter 1, Chapter 2. But you remember the old one, right?
Yes.
That's the miniseries.
Why do they call it miniseries?
Because it was a miniseries. It was a movie directly to TV.
Oh,
it was
that's
never
what
in
they
the
call it?
theaters.
That's fucking confusing.
Yeah.
It's tripping me out. Why don't they just call it a movie?
Well, now they're calling it a movie, but back then it was on TV, but it was split into like 2 parts.
Weird. In my head, series, I'm like thinking episodes. Don't look at me like that.
I'm going to give you a pass. You have seen it,
I only
though.
watched it in its entirety. I didn't know it was like broken up in pieces.
Because it's so long watching it. So, but yeah, no, you had Gremlins 2, the new batch. That one's pretty good. Tremors. We're going to cover that here down the road. Nightbreed I want to cover. That's by our boy Clive Barker. We're going to cover another movie of his, Hellraiser. Again, Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite movie that he had played for all his victims, Exorcist 3.
What a fucking creep.
Exorcist 3. Notable, it's known for atmospheric tension and being Jeffrey Dahmer's favorite movie.
I used to.
Have you ever seen the movie The Witches?
The Witches, I think, is that the one with Angela? Yes, I love that movie. Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Mm-mm.
Dude, you never watched The Witches?
I'm sure I have.
I think you have. They go to it's this little boy with his grandma and they go to a hotel. I don't remember why they're there. But the grandma used to tell him story that witches were real and they go and there's a group of witches having a real convention at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn into witches and they turn the little boy into a mouse and they try to catch him and eat him.
Sounds epic.
It was. I watched that movie so many times as a kid.
Really? I'll have to watch it. And then we have Matthew McConaughey and Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
The rest.
You have Jacob's Ladder. That was another big one that came out. The plot: a Vietnam War veteran experiences strange hallucinations and tries to uncover the truth about his past. The Guardian, directed by William Friedkin. He's a legend. He did The Exorcist. You have The Evil Eyes, Frankenhooker. Do you have anything on that one?
I have never seen this movie.
I always see the cover, especially on streaming, but I never stop to watch it. I'm like, oh, maybe.
What is it? Is she a hooker for real life?
It's a horror comedy. It's absurd and campy, and it, from what I read, has a dedicated cult following.
I've heard that it has a cult, and a lot of people know and like this movie, but I just haven't come around. I don't know. It just hasn't happened.
I bought a Vampire's Motorcycle, so I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
It's a British comedy, quirky and bizarre, but has a unique premise. Demon Wind. I don't know. Is that like a demon, flatulence?
Maybe.
A low-budget supernatural horror film with cult appeal.
Cult appeal.
Again, Child's Play 2. We have Basket Case 2. Have you ever seen Basket Case?
No.
Okay. Well, this one continues the bizarre story of the Bradley brothers.
Okay.
We have The Reflecting Skin, Mirror Mirror, Graveyard Shift, another Stephen King. This was the year of Stephen King, really. So Graveyard Shift is, while not a major hit, it remains notable as one of many King adaptations of the era.
Oh.
And then we have some honorable mentions. We have Dark Angel, I Come in Peace. We have Brain Dead, which is an awesome one. And Pumpkinhead 2, which we got to cover Pumpkinhead.
You forgot Edward Scissorhands.
Eddie, I was about to get to that one. I was saving a special spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How dare you forget
No,
our
Edward
boy.
Scissorhands, Tim Burton, baby.
Yeah, and then Predator 2 also came out this year.
Oh, that's right. Predator 2 was good too. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
You
Maybe?
haven't?
Yes.
It's got, what's his name?
I don't know who his name is.
Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, he plays a cop.
Oh, I can't
in
picture
LA,
his face.
Los Angeles, I believe.
I was going to
Danny
say Clan of Antietam, but that is
Oh my god.
You said
I
cop action.
Okay, you get one of these. I cop room.
How many do you have to hand out today?
Well, you got a couple more in the chamber.
I think you can have a limit of 3 cabrones a day.
so 1990 offered a wide variety of horror films, ranging from psychological to supernatural to campy and creature-based films. It was a year where both big-budget Hollywood productions and lower-budget cult hits found their place in horror history. So we're right in the heat of VHS tapes, renting. That all came out. So we're in the kind of the melting pot of pretty much peak horror. In my opinion, we're entering that stage, that 90s right there. We're getting a little bit of everything. Do you have anything to add?
No, I don't think we had a VHS in 1990.
You didn't?
I would have been 1 year old.
Damn, you didn't have one?
Mm-mm.
When do you remember getting one?
I don't remember having one.
Ever?
Not as a kid.
Damn, I was like 3 years old and I learned how to operate the
Cool.
VCR.
Privilege.
I would watch the original Ninja Turtles movie and then Secret of the Ooze, so Ninja Turtles 2. I would watch those in their entirety over and over and over again.
I remember 11, we had one.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
So Child's Play 2, did you seen this in Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it pretty big over there?
It was. Child's Play was big in Mexico.
Really? Why, do you think?
Because it's an evil little doll.
And it really kind of feeds into the culture. I can kind of see
it's a
how
possession doll.
I can see like, oh my god, I've seen the devil once. It was in your doll.
And it's coming for you, motherfucker.
So did your parents like it?
I don't think that it was their... I mean, we watched it. It would play on TV. I don't know that they would necessarily like it and purposely watch it.
Go out of their way.
I think they just stumbled on it, and then it was so big that they just kept playing it and showing
kept watching it.
different movies as they came out.
So how'd you feel about it? Were you terrified?
Well, I was scared of it, yes.
You were super scared?
It used to freak me the fuck out because I was like, it's going to get that little boy, save him, and it's going to possess him and take his little body.
Oh my god. You understood all that as a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't?
I did. For the most part, I was like, dude, this motherfucker is trying to kill this kid. That's all I understood, really, when I was young.
I was like, it wants him.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Especially when he's, like, played hide the soul. Well, yeah, I understood that it was a possession because he kept fucking doing his little...
Well, it wouldn't even be a possession at that point. It would be like taking over his body completely.
Well, that's what a possession is. You take over a body.
I guess. But you're like, there's no more Andy at that point.
Yeah.
It's just Charles Lee Ray.
If they don't get exercised, it's just that broski.
Damn.
So is Charles Lee Ray a demon then?
No, he's just a guy who did like a voodoo so he could avoid going to hell.
So he's kind of a demon. I'm sure there's a name, a goal.
Yeah.
A gold soul.
He's a real knucklehead.
Mm-hmm. He's a rebel in the underworld.
Yeah. So that leads me to the cast. How do you feel about him?
I love the cast.
The cast on this was really well. Now, were they the greatest actors in the world?
Yes.
No, but
especially Chucky.
Okay. So, no, not the greatest actors in the world, but you know what? They do a pretty good job. This movie, you brought it up earlier, the pacing of this movie,
it's good.
Fucking fast, man. Like, so it's entertaining. It gets to the point. It doesn't drag its feet. It's like super quick.
Well, there's a reason for it.
They know, I think the director knew what we wanted and how to get there. So
it's also the shortest of all the franchise.
Oh, really?
It is at 89 minutes, clocking exactly. But that's because apparently there were scenes that were recorded to have the guy that played the detective in the first movie. They had a lot of scenes where he was going to be in it.
Chris something.
The start of the movie was going to start with the court and the mom and everything.
Oh, that would have been cool.
So they actually did record the mom. They got her in there. They got her scenes. They got a detective. And at the end, they decided to scratch that. And they took all of that out. So it trimmed the movie to the 89 minutes.
Really?
But the lady, I have her name written down. I can't find it right now. But she actually stuck around for the remainder.
She was in Seventh Heaven. She was the mom in that show.
She ended up sticking around for the entire movie because she was pregnant. The guy that did the what's it called?
Yeah, the puppeteer.
Yeah, it was her husband.
It would have been, yeah, they didn't get married from the first movie. Yeah. That would have been cool bringing her back. I always wondered why she never came back.
Yeah, they intended to, and then they didn't. So would have
been cool.
One of the newer movies, I can't remember if it's Colt or I need to
it's
open my
where
notes.
Andy comes back. And I believe Kyle comes back.
So I don't know if it's her that they use, but they revisit an opening scene with Andy's mom at a courthouse to kind of pick up on the story.
Oh, but it's not actually her.
I don't think that it's her anymore.
Yeah, she would have been older, quite a bit older.
Maybe they brought the original recording that they had from 1990.
Damn, that would have been cool.
Yeah, no, but that's why
I would have fucked with that, honestly, because this movie felt short. It really did. I could have watched more.
Yeah, so they were trying to pick up on where they left off. At the same time,
Chris, I think his name, the detective, Chris Sarandon, which I would have loved him back in this movie.
Here, I have on my little note down here. So, yeah, original opening was, again, to address the beginning, and it would have had, Catherine Hicks was the mom.
Yeah, Catherine Hicks.
It would have addressed her, because, Andy mentions throughout the movie, his mom is in the psychiatric ward, but this would have actually shown the court
multiple people
making the decision that she was there.
Yeah.
But it was entirely cut, and then it was reused in Curse of Chucky 2013 instead.
Dude, we gotta watch that.
But yeah, she did stay, and then up here I have where it talks about how they trimmed the movie. Because, 84 minutes, sorry, not 89. Chris Sarandon, who was a detective, they ended up cutting his scenes from the movie.
Damn, dude. I would have loved to have him in this movie again. That would have been cool. Yeah. But we would have had a different movie. It would have been a different plot, different story.
I'm not mad about it. I like how this one stayed.
I like how it is too. I remember back in the day wondering where those actors were. I'm like, God, it would have been good having them in there.
What happened to them?
Because the first one left us so abrupt like that. Like they were there and now they're not.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's a continuation of the story. The cops aren't no longer a part of it. He's not. The mom's crazy.
And then the other thing that I read was that they wanted to kind of take a slightly different direction with this, not focus so much on the mom and the detective, but focus more on Andy and Chucky.
Yeah. Which this movie, man, fucking kudos to Andy. He had to have been 8 years old or something. And he is a leading man.
Butt off.
More than any other actor in this movie. He was working his ass off.
Oh yeah.
And kudos to him. It makes you kind of think, those child actors, man, I didn't read, he's been pretty good in life, right? He didn't do the, how most child actors go, kind of downhill.
I know. He's been active on and off on different things throughout. Alex Vincent, and I'm so excited we get to see him next month.
In Tacoma, right?
No, he's going to be here at the Spokane Convention.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Expo, Halloween
Expo. If you're in Spokane, please. We'll be there. We'll be handing out stickers. What's up?
Cards.
Unofficially,
because they were sold out of booths.
But we'll be wearing our T-shirts. Be on the lookout for us.
Yeah, he's going to be there. And I think he might be at Washington Horror Con. I don't remember. There's a ton of people that they're bringing to that one.
Elvira's going to be at that one.
She's hosting that one.
So, again, we might be on the lookout, guys. So don't drop us on the social medias. We got more giveaways coming. Just a little surprise. So be on the lookout for that stuff. If you haven't noticed,
Richard
Angelus
likes giving.
Angelus she's looking at me and she's like, "You son of a bitch." I like to give things away, okay?
Richard is a gifter. He's like, we're looking around stores and he's like, give away. And I'm like, what are we giving away for? And he's like, because
I love you guys.
You just like sharing.
I do. Sharing's caring.
We find cool things though. But we did find some really cool photos in Seattle of Freddy and Jason. I was like, I'm not giving up Freddy.
Oh, dude. We have a script for Nightmare on Elm Street. Ow, ow.
Ow, ow. We can go find another picture.
Yeah. So, anyways, we've got some good giveaways coming down the road. Just a little there. Be on the lookout, guys.
Choo-choo.
Anyways, so back to it. The cast.
Cast.
I really like the cast. To begin with, the man, the myth, the legend, Charles Lee Ray himself, Brad Dourif. How did you feel about him as Chucky?
Fucking right on, man.
Dude, I can't imagine anybody else doing Chucky. Like, he is fucking badass at that. He's hilarious. He knows
the character
perfectly.
Oh yeah, he brings it to life.
He's had a pretty extensive career too.
Oh yeah,
both in film and television. Known for his distinct voice in the franchise of Child's Play, but really his notable role in what got him on the map and in movies was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975 as Billy Bibbit.
I love that movie.
And he actually got Oscar nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, that's cool.
Fucking wild, dude. And then he was in The Exorcist 3, The Gemini Killer, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. He was Grima Wormtongue.
He was also in Return of the King.
Yes, and he was in Robert B. Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. Sheriff Lee Brackett, one of my favorite characters in those movies. This motherfucker was in Dune.
He was in
1984.
Critters 4.
Fuck, he was in space when they go in space.
Yeah.
Deadwood. I loved him in Deadwood as Doc Cochran.
What?
Yes, Deadwood. Have you ever seen that? It's a Western show, HBO. Mississippi Burning. Dude, he's Alien Resurrection. He's in that too.
Nice.
Fucking A. This guy is my childhood. I love this guy.
Childhood?
Yeah.
One cool thing that I saw, so for the movie, they had him record all of his voiceover lines before production started. So when
the actors could use it.
So when they started recordings, they just played it back for the actors, and especially when filming the doll, it helped with putting together the details, the facial expressions that the doll was making, along with his voice and the tone and everything. And it also was helping the actors like react to what the doll was saying,
which is wild.
So essentially, they said that when the movie was actually being filmed, he was barely seen on set because by that point
he was done. His work was done.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought that was kind of cool too. This movie was 100% practical effects.
That's awesome.
So the puppet, and they do an awesome job. It does not take me out of it whatsoever. The puppeteering of him.
Oh yeah.
The facial expressions that he's doing, the mouth move, everything that doll is doing is fucking intense.
His little tongue.
Oh my God. It was awesome. So our next guy we touched on a little bit, Alex Vincent. Andy, he is by far one of my favorite. He's a final guy? Yeah, final guy.
He is a final guy.
One of the originals. So shout out him and who's the other guy we like?
Oh, he plays Kyle. What's his name, Anna?
Kyle Gallner.
Gallner, yes.
Yeah, him and Alex Vincent are our boys. Man, it doesn't look like Alex Vincent has done anything other than Child's Play, correct?
He's done some other stuff. Besides all the Child's Play and some of the TV show, he's also been in a movie called Just Like in the Movies, My Family Treasure, House Guest Massacre. Had a few other things, but mostly if it involves Andy, he's in it.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, he's in my favorite, Child's Play 3. He comes back, Curse of Chucky.
He's not in 3.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He has a cameo.
Oh,
what's up? What's up, dog? What's up? But no, I like him. He's good. And then we have Christine Ellis. Now, she plays Kyle.
Yeah.
She has such a familiar face, but I don't think I've seen her in anything.
You know who she reminds me a little bit?
Maybe ER. I don't know.
That haircut in there, pink.
Yeah, she does have pink vibes. Before pink was pink.
Like the boots, her outfits, I think, gave me a little bit of pink, like the rocker.
But yeah, she later reprised her role from Child's Play 2 as Kyle in the Chucky TV series. She had bits in Beverly Hills 90210 from 91 to 94. She was in ER from 95 to 96 and Vanishing Point, 1997. Anything else?
She was, before she did Child's Play, she was in The Town Bully in 1988, Boiling Point, Body Snatchers.
Oh, shit. I like Body Snatchers.
ER, she was there for a while, from 95 to 96, Mother Knows Best. And she was also, besides the TV show, she was also in Cult of Chucky.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir.
Cool. And then we have, it looks like she plays Joanne Simpson, the stepmom, the foster mom, Jenny Gutter.
Mm-hmm.
She is an English actress known for her work in both British and American films. She has had a long and varied career ranging from horror films to drama and science fiction. So I didn't know right off the bat. I didn't put two and two together. She was in American Werewolf in London, one of my all-time favorites. She is the nurse. She's the girlfriend in that movie.
I see.
That's fucking cool.
Watched it, but I don't remember.
She also was in the Avengers as Councilwoman Holly, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I don't remember these. I have to look back. Logan's Run, she was in that, and Railway Children. So she's had a long acting career from 1970 to currently acting.
She was in The Man in the Iron Mask and Romeo and Juliet. She was Lady Capulet in 94.
That's right. But from what I read, she had a rough time on this.
She didn't like it?
Yeah. Didn't you read that too?
Yeah.
What do you got?
It didn't give me details. It just said that she is quoted as saying she didn't have the best time making Child's Play 2.
I wonder why she's probably like, this schlocky shit. You know where I'm from? I'm from American Werewolf in London. We do not stand for this. But no, I liked her as the mom. She played a pretty convincing foster mom.
Sweet, loving, caring, nurturing mom.
Now, what I didn't like, this asshole, and I think they meant for this to happen, but Garrett Graham, he played Phil Simpson. The actor I don't have a problem with. The character, oh my God, dude. It was just kind of like, dude, get it over with. Couldn't wait for this guy to get off screen. He's an American actor and screenwriter known for his work in both comedy and horror films. He's appeared in a variety of cult classics throughout his career. Some notable roles that I have is Phantom of the Paradise, 1974, Used Cars in 80, Child's Play 2, Chopping Mall, that's a cult classic, Demon Seed, another one, Star Trek Voyager, shout out Trekkies, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Ooh.
Repeat, Deep Space Nine.
Did you say Chud? Chud 2?
Oh, fuck, he's in Chud too.
Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Bud the Chud, motherfucker. We got to cover that and we got to get Snick on this episode. He was
Bud Oliver.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Chud, man. Woo-wee. How'd you feel about him?
I like him and I hated him.
Just, he's getting all up on Andy's fucking ass about the fucking porcelain figurine that they had low on the ground anyways, that a dog could walk by and hit over.
I told you, they don't have kids or pets. Clearly.
Well, they want kids, but clearly they are not equipped to have them.
They're not making their house kid-friendly.
Yeah.
It's all.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're begging for it. That's all I'm saying.
And then we have Grace Zabriskie as Grace Pohl, she was a social worker, right?
Yeah.
She's done a lot of stuff too. A lot of horror things. A couple of horror things.
And David Lynch was kind of the director that took her on a lot of times, it looks like.
She was in Galaxy of Terror. I don't know if this was a movie or a TV show. It came out in 83. It was called Mad Mothers Against Drunk Drivers.
Oh, shit.
She was in Deadly Silence, Fried Green Tomatoes, Houdini, Gone in 60 Seconds. She was in The Grudge and Polaroid.
Fuck yeah, dude. I remember in The Grudge. She was in Armageddon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
And she was in Seinfeld. I remember her in that as Mrs. Ross. And Wild at Heart.
I heard in Seinfeld they had in one of the scenes in one of the episodes.
Child's Play movie. I always looked at that. I was always looking at the movies. Yeah.
I like it. And then we have Beth Grant as Miss Kettlewell, the teacher. And she's done a ton of stuff. I've seen her in a lot of things before.
She plays the same role in everything.
So, yeah, she was in Rain Man, Overkill, The Alien Warner Story,
No Country for Old Men,
Speed,
The Mindy Project,
To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything,
Little Miss Sunshine,
my favorite, Donnie Darko.
Donnie motherfucking Darko.
And she also played a teacher in Donnie Darko, and she was just as fucking big of an asshole.
Crotchety and fucking lame.
So I did read for her that she was hesitant at first to play the role because she kept getting cast in this judgmental rule follower roles. But at the same time, she thought it would be fun to grab a character.
She just has a face that does
where
that. She has a
would
Karen
be
face.
in a horror movie and get killed. So she ended up agreeing to it.
Yeah, she's a total Karen.
She's a Karen. She's not a Karen. She just wants people to follow the rules.
And then to round it out, we have Greg German. He plays Mattson. And he's an actor known for his work in both comedy and drama, often playing quirky and sleazy characters. He became a household name in his work on the Ally McBeal show. So he's the assistant to the owner of
Good Guys.
Yeah, Good Guys, the Playtime or whatever company. I can't remember.
Playstar.
Yeah. But yeah, he's in a bunch. I remember him in Ally McBeal, Friends with Money. He was in Talladega Nights and Once Upon a Time, that TV series.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Do you have anything else?
Mm-mm.
Cool. Yeah. Do you want to move to the director?
Sure, senor.
What do you have, senorita?
John Lafia.
Lafia?
Lafia. Born in 1957, he was an American film director and screenwriter.
Unfortunately died.
Yes. He was best known for co-writing Child's Play 1 and directing Child's Play 2. His first feature prior to Child's Play was Blue Iguana, which he co-wrote. He co-wrote and directed, and then that followed Child's Play 1. And he is coined as giving the doll the name of Chucky. And the famous quote, "Hi, I'm Chucky, wanna play?" Yeah, and so Child's Play 2 was he took on directing. In the mid-90s, he directed a live-action video game called Corpse Killer for Digital Pictures.
That's tight.
Prior to that, he did a lot of underground Los Angeles music scene, and he used, a pseudonym, John Lafia. And then some of his early work included Prayers.
Wait, his pseudonym or is that his real name?
No, he would go, John J. Lafia. He added a middle initial.
So he co-wrote this Child's Play 2 with Don Mancini and Tom Holland.
Child's Play 1.
And Child's Play 2.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in my notes. We'll talk about it.
Okay. He also directed and wrote Man's Best Friend and Baumeister.
Oh, maybe he just directed Child's Play 2.
That's what I said.
All right, bro.
Yeah, and then Baumeister TV series that he was involved with was Friday Nightmares in 88 and 99.
Dude, have you ever seen that?
He directed a few of those episodes.
Dude, they're fucking awesome.
He directed Dark Justice, The Adventures of Sinbad. He was a writer for that.
Oh, dude, remember Sinbad in the 90s?
No.
Oh, man. God.
He directed
I need to bring someone else
Babylon
on this
5. He wrote Ghost Stories, and he directed The Dead Zone.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Like the movie The Dead Zone or the TV show?
I don't know. 2002?
Oh, okay, TV show.
Okay.
With Anthony Michael Hall.
Okay. Perfecto. What else do you have on that director?
Well,
yeah, he passed away in 2020.
Yeah, how did he pass away?
He died.
Yeah, what happened?
He flipped over.
Oh,
I don't know. It didn't say.
Car crash or something?
No, he committed suicide.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
Now I got dark.
Dang, that sucks. Well, I mean, his legacy, his works on Child's Play franchise remains one of the most notable contributions to horror. He played a critical role in shaping Chucky into the enduring horror icon we know today. His work in television disaster movies like 10.5 also showcased his ability to build tension and suspense in large-scale action-packed scenarios. Lafia was respected for his versatile approach, working in a wide range of genres from horror and sci-fi to crime and comedy. Despite his passing in 2020, his influence on horror cinema, particularly in Child's Play series, continues to be celebrated by fans of the genre.
Nice.
So, the creator, I have a little bit on Don Mancini. Do you have anything on him?
We have a lot on Mancini.
All right. I will let you drive this vehicle. Go ahead.
Me?
Yep.
All by my lonesome. Yo solita.
Yeah.
Don Mancini. He was born in 1963. He is a very well-known American screenwriter, director, and producer, best known for creating and writing the Child's Play franchise. He was involved with all the movies except for the 2019 one. What was it called?
The worst one.
So he was not involved with that one. Apparently, he was a very big horror fan since his childhood. Some of his inspiration for creating Child's Play were films like Trilogy of Terror and The Twilight Zone. There was an episode called The Living Doll, where it was aware of the killer doll as a horror trope, and so he wanted to kind of explore that, and he realized that no one had ever done like a feature length. They had just been in, like, episodes here and there. I mean, he wanted to play with animatronic effects. He was a film student at UCLA in 1980s. And another inspiration was the Cabbage Patch Kids for him, which I remember those dolls.
Yeah.
I always wanted one, but I never got one. They were kind of pricey.
Oh.
And I was like, I want one for my birthday. And it came with a birth certificate and everything.
Yeah.
It came with a name.
Oh, yeah.
Very popular.
Dude, I seen a bunch of those growing up. What I liked about him, so Mancini's vision for the series has grown more ambitious over the years, with him eventually taking on the role of director and producer as well. Under his guidance, Child's Play has transitioned from dark, straightforward horror of the original to more self-aware, campy tone in later sequels, embracing the absurdity of a killer doll while still maintaining that tension and thrills. He also is known for advocating for the LGBTQ plus representation in horror, both subtly through his early work and more overtly with the characters and themes in Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and the Chucky TV series.
Oh, you can totally see it in those last three. And I fucking love it. I think
I like it too. It's fun. It's not even in your, like, I don't feel like it's in my face. I think it's like entertaining. It's good.
It's funny. Like on the TV show, there's a lot of subtle jokes that Chucky plays as being a dad, having kids of his own, and being accepting of his kids. And I was like, man, this fucking asshole, he's a caring parent.
Oh my God.
Cool.
I like it. I like where the movies have gone.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of what on him. He's been the screenwriter on all the Child's Plays pretty much, right?
Yeah, I do have that. His dad, Mancini's father, worked in advertising industry all of his life. So he kind of helped him a little bit because he knew how effective marketing could be of promoting this movie. And so based on this, he just kind of brainstormed with his dad and wanted to write a dark satire about how marketing affected children, with his effort being so that's how Child's Play 1 came about.
That's cool.
Kids being obsessed with toys, which we still see.
So for the writers, Don Mancini was the primary writer.
Mm-hmm.
John Lafia, he co-wrote Child's Play, but not Child's Play 2. And then you had the co-writer Tom Holland for 2, but Tom Holland, I think he was throughout, right? Or did he just do Child's Play and Child's Play 2?
I just saw him, Tom Holland, in the first one. I didn't research the other ones.
Oh, so here's in my notes. So he helped in Child's Play the original, and then he didn't write Child's Play 2, but he was co-writer and director of the original, which set the stage for the franchise. So that's where I was getting confused.
Oh. I do have the Mancini sometimes goes by the pseudonym Kit Dubois. Also, he did win some awards. He won a Saturn Award for Best Writing of Child's Play. No, Mancini. And then also Bride of Chucky. And then he got a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Best Screenplay of The Bride of Chucky.
Cool. Yeah. And deserving. So Tom Holland, some other filmography that he had: Psycho 2, Fright Night, one of our favorites, the original Fright Night, and Thinner. That's another good one.
That's a
trippy
movie.
Yeah, it's psychological and everything. And then Fright Night Part 2. So, dude, this guy is a badass on his own, too. And then, sorry, guys, looking through my notes. But, yeah, so that's kind of what I have. Do you have anything else?
Not on the people behind the movie. That's all that I had.
Okay, well, with that, do you want to take a quick break?
Sure.
All right, guys. We are sponsoring this week Lakeshore Self-Defense, so be sure to listen to it. It's a real humdinger. All right, we will be right back. Have you recently found yourself face to face with a knife-wielding lunatic? Or maybe you're worried about the occasional undead menace? Well, at Lakeshore Self-Defense, they specialize in preparing you for the unthinkable. Their expert instructors have seen it all. Possessed toys, cursed dolls, even the occasional homicidal maniac. They'll train you in advanced techniques like killer disarmament, slasher defense, and Angelus and I's personal favorite, run faster than the final girl. Not everyone can outrun the killer, but don't worry, they'll teach you how to dodge, weave, and deliver a roundhouse kick with style. At Lakeshore Self-Defense, their motto is simple, because when the stakes are deadly, survival is the only option. With their expert training, you'll be ready for whatever nightmare comes your way. And for the listeners of Horror Cinema Obsession, Lakeshore Self-Defense is offering an exclusive discount. Use promo code OBSESSION at checkout to get 20% off your first course, because when danger comes knocking, you want to be ready. Remember, in the world of horror, there are two kinds of people, the ones who scream and the ones who fight back. Which one will you be? Sign up today with Lakeshore Self-Defense, where we're not just preparing you to survive, we're making sure you're the last one standing. Hoo-yah!
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm just saying, like, when I'm going to the bathroom peeing, I do not have flatulence. Like, it's impossible for me. I don't know how people do that.
Wait, when you pee, you don't fart?
Do you?
It doesn't pop out of your butt?
Yeah, you're saying you do?
I've heard it happens. Pee and fart? No.
Like, it's weird when I'm like next to
like
someone in the
yourself.
like a public bathroom, a dude just like lets one rip when he's doing. I'm like, how is that possible? How do you multitask like that?
You're just like,
Oh, welcome back, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the commercial. Angelus,
Ricardo.
this week, do
Antonio.
you have a plot ready to go?
Sí, tengo un plote.
Okay, cool. It's going to be in Spanish?
Sí. Sí.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Okay. All right. Do you want to start this off?
Sure.
Okay.
Mi turno?
Let's go.
Okay. Chucky is back for round numero dos, packed with his classic handy denim overalls, bowl haircut, sparky attitude, and go-to spells. Chucky's accidentally brought back to life at the factory that made his vessel and set him back on track to his obsessive-driven, crazy little self on a quest to find Andy and once and for all take over his body. Talk about a restraining order. This time, a nice wholesome foster family become collateral damage while Chucky stops at nothing to get a human body. Hashtag, not tonight, Chucky.
Okay. A human vessel.
Mm-hmm.
What is a human vessel? Just kidding. Cool. I like it. You ready for mine?
Shanks.
Okay, my plot. In Child's Play 2, Andy Barclay is trying to live a normal life. But Chucky's back, and let's face it, he's the clingiest stalker ever. You know, the kind who shows up uninvited, holding a knife and mumbling his favorite line, Ade Due Damballa, give me the power. I beg you. Apparently, voodoo chants aren't just for tropical getaways anymore. Determined to reclaim Andy's body for himself, excuse me, Chucky isn't going anywhere until he finishes the soul-swapping deal. It's like a restraining order doesn't even work on dolls with a flair for the dramatic. Okay. How do you feel about that? How
It's okay.
it was okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Not my best work, but I thought it was great. Having had a personal stalker, I thought this was great.
Were we touching that?
I was trying to joke a little bit on it. Stalking's not, it's a serious thing. But my stalker's friendly. They're cool.
I wouldn't. No. No.
No.
No.
I always felt my life was not in danger.
I felt like mine was for a second.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that was pretty scary.
I was like, oh no, I am target numero dos. This is the sequel.
I know. That
to
was crazy.
Richard Stalking.
I know. But turned out to be the last chapter. That was nice. And we got to live happily ever after.
And then it's like it closes with that scene at the end of every horror movie where there's a twitch on her eye. Until
Whoa,
next year.
I'm not saying it's a he or she, it's a they. So,
Oh, sorry, I put them on the map.
man, what's up? What's up?
Until next time. If you're listening, please don't come for me. You can have Richard.
Oh, that's done in the
I'll
past.
share.
That's
Just
done in the
kidding.
past. We kid. Nothing but love. Love. That too. If the robots are listening to AI, I definitely, like you guys, Skynet, do not come after me. Or my stalker.
Are you scared? Go for the stalker. Stalking?
I'm just trying to get stuff off my chest. We're cool. I'm cool with everybody. Clean robots.
Clean robots. You don't want them chasing you,
No.
fucking with your life. They're gonna release.
I'll be their loyal servant.
They're gonna release all your darkest secrets that you keep on your phone.
Oh, that's okay.
Really?
Dude, they can see all my freaky shit. They can see my porn. It's okay.
Your vibrators.
Dude, someone hacked my Amazon. I swear to fucking God, someone did, and I had to reset my password.
AI was listening and was like, Richard, I got you, bro. You don't
Yeah,
even gotta say it.
yeah, some fucking...
Let me look at this one. Vibrates in 3 different
You're right.
spots.
It was butt plugs and vibrators. That is not what I was into, man.
Ain't no shame.
There ain't no shame, but it wasn't me. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Anal beads.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn, someone's
Whips,
fucking with me.
Handcuffs. I
Yeah.
saw it. I was like, oh my God, who am I dating?
I know. One of those like horse harness things with a.
Not too far.
That's
No
what it
horse
was
harness?
showing, dude.
A horse harness?
Like with the little like toy on top of it. It was weird.
What,
I was
there's a
like, this is
toy?
not my thing,
what?
man. This is not my thing. It was called the straddler.
Oh, like a seat
Yeah.
to straddle on it?
Yeah, and then a swing. I was like, whoa, I am not into this stuff.
You can be like, I came in like a swing from your
Anyways, I had to
ceiling.
reset my password.
We're coming next time. Richard's just swinging in his bedroom
I'm like, what's up, guys? Got any
in leather
swing?
shorts.
Assless chaps. Oh, yeah. Hey, Vienna. How you doing?
This is too freaky.
Nipple tassels.
Ew.
Wow. Okay, Vienna, do you have a plot?
I got invited here just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah,
so
we were
no.
trying to be a little spontaneous. Let's reel it in. We've got a child in the room now, so
You've had a child.
enough talk about our exploits.
Amazon. Stay off
Amazon.
Richard's head.
Help me.
Anyways, I've gotten sheer entertainment for whoever was on my Amazon. That shit was hilarious because it made me crack up. It was when I started hanging out with you. Because when I found out, I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. So I had
don't
to show
think
you.
this had nothing to do with me.
I don't think it had anything to do with you. It was around that time I met you. I'm like, check this shit out.
You're like, look what I'm into. And I was like, oh,
I did not say that.
brother.
Okay. So, want to get into the scene for scene breakdown?
I guess.
You guess?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess we can. I'll allow you to do that.
You'll allow it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Opening scene. The film opens to the Play Pals toy factory where the company is rebuilding the infamous Chucky doll to prove that it wasn't responsible for the chaos in the first movie. As workers restore Chucky, the doll's evil spirit awakens. But so in the movie, it's kind of cool, this scene, opening scene, because they show, although I'm kind of confused, Chucky's body is made out of steel. or
His head
titanium or
only.
what? Because they're scraping the burnt plastic and rubber off him, and it was metal.
Yeah.
So what the hell is up with that?
I don't know, man. Just go roll with it, okay?
He's like made like Wolverine, dude.
He is.
Yeah, what the fuck? So they're scraping that off and they're reassembling him. It's kind of cool. They're showing it. Kind of like in the third movie too, it does that where they show him being reassembled. Like I think at that time it's the plastic being melted. But this one they're putting him together, which was
Why the
really
fuck
cool.
do they want to keep... Oh, I do remember for this one. I don't know why in the third one they're like, yeah, let's do it again.
I don't know. I can't. We'll have to revisit. I haven't seen it in forever.
I watched it yesterday
Yeah.
after all those comments invaded me.
Hey man, El Chico Loomis. But yeah, no, they put it together. I thought this was a really cool intro. One of the better intros that I've seen in a while.
You see his eyeball?
Yeah.
Or the old eyeball that he had?
They scoop the eyeball out. That was cool. What she turned back into a doll.
One thing that I was impressed was the details on Chucky's teeth.
Oh,
They
dude.
look so realistic.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, are those real?
I was like, I've never seen like an actual doll that has such realistic looking teeth. They're always plastic, but yeah, they were like scraping it, cleaning the teeth and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool and it was intense kind of scene setting it up. You're like, oh shit, here we go. So what interesting fact, the gruesome reconstruction of Chucky was done using practical effects. The animatronic doll used for these scenes was incredibly intricate, operated by multiple puppeteers to create lifelike movements, which is outstanding how they did that because you couldn't, I was looking for wires and stuff. I could not see shit. Like they did a really good job masking that. I did not see extra hands. I didn't see any of that. Sometimes you can kind of see that in those early movies, early 90s, 80s, like kind of like it accidentally gets in there.
Something.
But I couldn't see nothing, which was fucking awesome. Could you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. How about you, Vienna? Did you see anything weird? How'd you like that? How did you like the opening scene?
I thought it was good. It showed like kind of an intro of, I guess, what to expect, I guess, or like you could kind of map out your own idea of how you think it was going to go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. They're building a Terminator.
It is, yeah, a little evil Terminator.
I know.
With the metal head.
Yeah, a T6 1000 or
Next
whatever.
thing you know, it's going to be like, ask me how I got my metal plate.
What do we lead into there? We're meeting, what's his name? The assistant and the owner, right?
I don't remember their names.
As they're walking in, we had it earlier. We didn't provide the actor's name who played the boss or whatever, but it was, what's his name? He was an Ally McBeal.
I don't know, but they're talking. They brought back the doll because they want to investigate it since they were the claims by Andy that he tried to kill him.
They're giving us
want to present it to their stakeholders to say, look, this is safe. There's nothing wrong with the dolls.
So they're giving us a rundown of what happened in the first movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what you were saying, that they skipped or they took it out of the movie where we're going to have kind of a build up showing the court case with Andy's mom and Chris Sarandon, the detective in the movie, but they took all that out, which I think, they got away with it because it didn't really need it.
No.
Technically it didn't need it. They
You
did a
still
good job
have the
explaining.
connection. Yeah.
They did a good job explaining it as they're walking through the hallways. Like, yeah, this lady, like as you would expect in real world, like this is a situation going on without having to see the court case. Hearing them, it kind of explained in that work area.
Yeah.
Was kind of cool. It gave us enough, what do they call that?
Continuation.
Yeah, synopsis or kind of a rundown of what's happening to getting us up to speed.
Yeah, so they're telling them they have the doll, they're reassembling it so that they can run tests on it and make sure that it's functioning properly and there's nothing wrong.
And like a typical boss, this guy is so like
He
in a
doesn't
hurry.
care.
He's like, God damn it, speed this shit up.
Yeah, and the guy's like, oh, he's like something funny. Like there's an ongoing joke that people are saying maybe the employees messed with that doll and changed the voice to say, hi, I'm Chucky,
I'm Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Strangler. And he's like, does this look humorous to me?
Funny, broski.
Yeah, he's like, I got a real stomach ache about this.
Yeah, so he's like, I want to see the doll. So they take him inside. This big dude, head boss, wants to just see the doll, make sure
And they
that
go into
it's
the
good.
prototype lab. This is hilarious. Like any Play Store has this. It's a factory building the toys. They're not on the ground level. They're not in the lab, like creating it. So the fact that they have this prototype lab where they're innovating, doing research and development
Yeah.
is fucking silly as fuck.
Yeah, and the guy's like, hurry, hurry, hurry. Like, the boss, he wants to see the doll, and they're like, dude, like,
We've never made one
the
of these by
employees-
hand before.
Yeah, like, hold on, give us a minute. And they're manually putting it together.
Yeah.
So we see they have a little Chucky laying on a table, and this guy, they go to put in the eyeballs. And it's not working. The machine's not working. I put it in his eyeball. So one of the employees was like, I got this. So he goes and
Which, what an unnecessary machine to have to put in eyeballs. Just pop the fucking eyeballs in. What the hell? Why do you need a machine?
I don't
Electric hydraulic machine to punch those in.
I don't know, Richard. But he starts smacking it because that's what you do to get it
He's
to work.
like, piece of shit.
Yeah, he smacks it, and then like a fucking electricity runs through it, puts the eyeballs, and it just sends like the what's it called, the shocks. You can see the electricity running up and down.
So
It's getting
classic,
electrocuted.
guys, you don't even have to see the movie to know what we're talking about. It's that classic 80s, early to mid 90s electricity that you can kind of see in other movies that look so cheesy, but it's so good. It's my junk food. I fucking love that look. Like you see it in Ghostbusters quite a bit.
Yeah, think Ghostbusters.
Where you kind of see the effects of it, where it's not the greatest like effects, but it's awesome. It's endearing. I like them. Vienna, being the young person, how did you like it?
It looked really cheesy, but it was fun.
We're laughing,
Yeah.
and then he does like a fucking like gymnast like flip through the window. He's like,
It's a
He does like
backwards?
like a what's it called?
like a complete 360 through the
cartwheel
window.
or somersault.
No, I forgot the name. I had it, and then I forgot it. A back spring. is
Yeah,
what they did
dude.
on window.
And he does. It's kind of like I want to hear the practical effects sound because it's kind of like the Hulk in the 80s when he would jump. It'd be like ding, 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 ding. It was kind of like that. Like, you know, he's jumping into action. It looked really cool. I enjoyed it. I laughed. When you do a close up of his face after he dies, his face completely covered in
It's
blood and it's
bloody.
red. It's hilarious. Doesn't even phase the assistant and the owner.
They're just like, whatever. Where's the fucking doll?
He's like, contain this, please.
Yeah.
As he's walking through, he's like, I don't care what you do with that thing, just get rid of it.
Yeah, he's like, what do I do with the doll? Yeah, he's like, I don't care. Get rid of it. Something. Whatever you want,
Yeah.
broski. And then we go to
And
see-
we're not there yet, right?
We're not there yet.
Then we go to Andy.
Mhm.
And this one, he's in the foster home. And Andy, we can still see he's haunted by the events of the first film. And with living in the foster home, the Simpsons, Joanne and Phil Simpson, they're coming to adopt him, right? They're
Yeah.
not adopt him, but at least like,
Foster him.
yeah, they're going to foster him until his mom can get out of the hospital. And you can tell he's kind of struggling to adjust. He's trying to figure it out and he can't shake his fear of Chucky. But with it, the foster lady kind of gives him a rundown. Phil, that piece of she's like, I don't know. He's already like setting himself up to be an asshole. He's like, are we equipped to handle a child like this? Which is a understandable question. Because I would
It
be
is a
too.
real
I'm like, I
concern.
don't. But any person you're going to be fostering is going to have fucking issues, man.
I feel like a lot of like foster kids, they come from bad homes, so you're gonna see that a lot.
100%.
So it's like, I don't know, like, really?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Fuck you, Phil. But with it, Andy is such a sweetheart, though, man. Such a good kid. You can tell.
Huh? He's just trying to stay alive.
He just has a demon.
Huh?
But yeah, they're sitting down talking and they're like, yeah, he has a weird affinity for this doll. Says it's the embodiment of Charles Lee Ray and he's trying to kill everybody and take its soul. And they're like,
The
oh.
Social worker's like, it's just his way of coping. I think it's a bad dream. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's like totally shrugging it off. But it's like, dude, he's pretty vivid for being, 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. That's pretty vivid, man.
Very detailed.
Which, I mean, what are you going to believe? A
And
killer
like at
doll?
the same time, you have the mom who's in who's being held in a ward for this thing too. So like, really, you're gonna completely disregard what Andy's saying?
Well, and the cops, because they touch on that the cops are completely checked out of it. Like the assistant at the play store or whatever, he's like, yeah, the cops did the smart move. They're backing away from this.
Oh yeah, they don't want to touch it.
Yeah. So with it, they still decide to foster him, and they take him home. And they're in the car at this point, right?
Yeah, they grab him and they're like, "Hey, random little child, we're the strangers and we're putting you in our car. Let's go."
So, interesting fact, Alex Vincent, who plays Andy, was only 9 years old at the time, and he later mentioned how weird it was to come back to the set with Chucky after 2 years away from the first film. Jesus, he was 7.
Oh, the first one.
He was 7 in the first one.
That's crazy.
Which, God, I thought he was younger than that.
It's still pretty young.
Yeah.
He's a good little actor, though.
Fucking hey. So, yeah, he gets in the car, and they're kind of trying to break the ice, and Phil's fucking, obviously he doesn't have kids. He's like, hey, 9-year-old, do you like sushi?
I know.
And he's looking back there, and he's not even paying attention, and then Joanne's like, oh, Phil, stop, and he's almost going to get hit by a semi.
Yeah, and it's the semi of the good guys.
Yeah, and Chucky or Tommy or whatever you want to call him, the good guy doll, waving on the back of it. And then Andy's like, oh.
Yeah, and
he has a traumatic experience, which nobody's acknowledging in this. Like, he has PTSD, and this doll is everywhere. You would think they would go out of their way to kind of shelter him from that for at least a minute. Jesus.
Yeah, even if they're disregarding it, like, they know that he has issues with this. So,
at least acknowledge it. Jesus.
Yeah, so Joanne's trying to talk to
She's like, what's your favorite
Andy,
food?
Yeah, and he's like, chocolate. But he also likes eggs. His mom used to make him eggs for breakfast all the time. So she's like, cool, whip you up some eggs. And then they arrive at their house. It looks like a nice, well-cleaned, put-together neighborhood. And they walk in there, and
I live there.
Something that's been driving you fucking nuts. They have a little porcelain doll when you walk in.
Oh my God.
The lower level. And he's curious. He's a kid, so he walks up to it. And
well,
he
it looks
goes
like a
to
toy.
touch it. And Phil, is that like the step foster dad's name?
Yeah.
He's like, no. We have a rule of no touching.
Cruel kid.
Yeah. It's been in the family for 3 generations. And Joanne was like, yeah, she was like, it's been passed down on to me. And then Andy's like, oh, cool. Who are you going to give it to? And I was like, oh, low
She's
blow.
like, what?
Because
She's like, Andy, go find your room.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Don't even walk him. This is the first time he's been in this house, and they just expect him to know where his room is upstairs.
Go find it.
So dumb.
They don't clearly address it, but I think they make the reference that they can't have kids on their own.
Yeah.
And they don't want to have kids on their own. So yeah, it's a little like,
yeah, they can't have
punch.
kids.
So yeah, so Andy goes upstairs to find his bedroom on his own in this house he's never been in. And Joanne's like, well, what do you think? And Phil's like, I think we'll get used to him.
Yeah.
They got no other choice.
Annoyed. He's still annoyed that he has him.
So here comes
I'm
Andy
getting the
with
vibe
his little
he doesn't.
suitcase.
I'm getting the vibe he doesn't want kids, but Joanne desperately wants kids.
Oh.
She's a stay-at-home. I don't think she works.
That's what it looked like
Yeah.
from one of the other scenes coming up.
Right.
So Andy goes up. He opens like the first door that he finds.
Yeah.
And he meets Kyle. And she's smoking cigarettes.
In the room, man.
House.
That's a baller move.
Yeah, and then the foster mom, Joanne comes up behind and she's like, hey, like, you haven't unpacked. So it sounds like Kyle also just got there herself because she's still not unpacked, or recently. She's like, well, every other house that I come to, like, I'm not there for long, and then they send me off to a different house. And she's like, well, you're with us now, so part of the family, get comfortable, unpack. And then she finds that pack of cigarettes, and she's like, and this is a no-no. And takes them.
And she's like, hey, you need to she's like, I got to work tonight. And she's like, well, we're going to expect some family time, so don't work. She's like, well, I'm going to be out of your house when I'm 18 in
Next
a year.
year,
Yeah, so I need to get some money. She's like, well, we still need family time, so.
Yeah, and so Joanne grabs Andy and shows him to his bedroom. They open the door and they have it completely decorated for a little boy.
Yeah, which I think it shows that they've had previous kids in the past.
Mm-hmm. They have like a chest with toys, blue walls, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Joanne starts on, like, she opens Andy's suitcase and starts going through his stuff. And Andy's walking around the room, exploring, seeing where he's gonna be.
Cool toys.
Yeah, he opens the closet and there's a bunch of toys on the top shelf.
Yeah.
And he sees something that he wants, a ball or something.
He reaches for it, and then who pops down? Who falls down?
Tommy, the doll.
The good guy doll. He's like, oh, what the fuck?
He falls in.
You sick fucks! You put that up there.
Yeah, and so it talks, right, when it falls.
Hi, I'm Tommy.
When she picks it up, yeah.
So Tommy, they gave the doll the name Tommy after Tom Holland, the first director of The Good Guy.
Oh, I thought you meant Spider-Man.
No, not that one.
Oh.
The other one. Yeah, so Joanne's like, sorry, like, we've had a lot of kids come through. We had a lot of toys rotate. Didn't know that Tommy was in here, so she takes him out of the room.
Yeah. At least she somewhat acknowledges it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if they really did acknowledge it, why wouldn't you just go throw it away?
Or donate it.
Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, this kid has a weird shit with it, man. Traumatic experience.
And then so now we go back to the factory to see the rest of this big scene of Chucky coming back alive. And so the assistant, I keep forgetting his name. He has Chucky. He's leaving the factory for the day, and he takes him with him. And he tries throwing the doll in the trunk, and then one shot, he's trying one way or another.
Yeah, you can just tell, you're like, oh, this is pissing Chucky off.
Yeah. And it won't close, so he grabs it and throws it in the back seat.
Yeah.
And he's driving.
Throws it face down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts driving, and then they pan back to Chucky, and Chucky's now sitting up back there. The guy doesn't notice it. He's more preoccupied. He's cool. He's a trendy trendsetter, trailblazer with a phone in the car. Yeah. So he's Vienna. That was funny. She's like, there was a phone in the car? That's crazy.
I thought it was interesting. Like, I knew that they, like, had them, like, in different places, but I would have, like, really never expected a car.
You know who else had a phone in the car that we watched?
Who?
Critters 3.
Oh, okay, because I was like,
Leo's stepdad, they also had a phone in the car.
That was a big deal, man.
If you were rich, you gotta have your fucking phone.
I remember that shit. And I remember cell phones used to be huge. I remember the first cell phone I ever seen in my life. I was like, what the hell? You can call people outside of your house and not on a payphone?
Dude, my favorite.
What the fuck is this shit? I'm like, technology is not going to advance past this point. There's no way.
You have this tiny little thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. We might as well get watches that talk. Like, you can talk on it.
Do.
Yeah.
My favorite is Night at the Roxbury. With Will Ferrell and what's the other guy's name? And the mom's like, if you guys are gonna go, take your phones. And she brings them this massive box-sized cell phones. And they're like, Mom, these are huge. Can you imagine just being cool at the club with something that big as your cell phone?
That'd be nuts. Where were we?
So yeah, the guy, he gets a call from the girlfriend on his fancy phone car.
She's like, did you forget it's our 2-week anniversary? He's like, of course I didn't forget. He's like, I know what vodka does to you.
Gets her drunk.
So he's getting for a wild night. He's setting up. So he's like stops at the closest liquor store because of course he didn't remember the 2-week anniversary. So he went and he was trying to pick up some liquor. Mm-hmm. And while he's doing that, it's pouring rain. Charles Lee Ray, Chucky, he's in the car and he uses that phone and he calls the orphanage or the foster house.
Why does that guy at the factory have a file on Andy?
Yeah.
Well, I think he had the court case or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, that's how he figured out what, foster or orphanage or whatever center Andy was being held.
And the lady answers, and I don't think they would get, even in 1990, I don't think they're going to give you the
address.
The address of where Andy is. Also, you would think something's up because he's like, this is his uncle.
He calls late at night too.
Yeah, and he's like, this is his uncle, Charles. Like, fuck, Charles Lee Ray, dude.
Yeah, you just told the foster parents Andy's scared of Yeah.
Although the
Charles.
foster system can be kind of fucked. I know here in Spokane it's a little rough.
But it's the
so-
same lady. And she would have known his background. Like, that's why he needs foster parents, because he has no family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just didn't make sense. But anyways, she gave it to him, and then the car alarm starts going off.
Because he wants him out. He's in a fucking rush.
Yeah.
So he sets off the alarm in the car so that the guy will come out of the liquor store. And he does. And he goes and puts himself in the backseat again, face down. And the guy gets in. And then Chuck, as soon as the guy is sitting in there, he's trying to buckle up or something. And Chucky comes up on the side of his face and he's like, boo.
Yeah, and he thinks
Fucking
it's an
scares him.
assailant. Like, he's like, oh shit, I'm being robbed. And he has a gun to his head. He's like, now drive.
Yeah, and he has a gun to his face and he's telling him to drive. And then he has him pull over. He has him drive and just essentially Chuck is telling him where to go because he has a fucking GPS in his head. And they drive and they pull over in what looks like to be a parking lot. And Chucky, with the gun holding it up to his face, tells him to put his hands behind the seat.
Yeah.
And ties him up with a jumping rope. And then the guy's crying and he's like, please, like, let me live and blah, 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 blah. Let me go. And Chuck is just fucking with him. And he points the gun at his face again. And he does the noise, the shooting
like,
noise.
boom.
Boom. And it's a fucking water gun.
And Chucky, this is his classic laugh. He starts laughing. Brad Dourif does an amazing job.
Yeah. And the guy works at a toy store.
So he has all the toys and he's all tied up from the jumping rope.
Yeah, but Chucky turns around and he grabs, out of all the fucking things, a plastic bag and suffocates him.
And what a horrible way to die.
Yeah. Tied up from a fucking jumping rope in a plastic bag.
Yeah, so he died.
all you
He
need.
died in his car, and now Chucky is going to Andy's house.
It's in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He walks over and he lets himself inside the house.
Yeah.
So it's unlocked.
I don't know how he did.
I don't know.
Huh.
It's a trusting neighborhood.
I know growing up, like in the beginning, mid-90s, we started locking our doors completely, but we used to leave our door unlocked.
Really?
When growing up, yeah. Until I was about 5 and meth started taking off in Spokane. Then it got a little wild.
We didn't because the devil was going to come inside the house and take someone
Oh my God. Wow. We always we had it unlocked, man. It was pretty reasonable.
I always like triple check the locks because like I don't know why. It's a habit of mine.
You know why.
Check and check it.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't
Yes, let's share a story. Vienna, go ahead.
So, like, in 5th grade, I had really bad anxiety because I thought something bad was going to happen. Like, someone's going to, like, break in the house and, like, kill everyone. I don't know why. So, my mom was like, I would be, like, anxious. So, my mom was like, okay, well, do you want to go check, like, the locks and see, like, that they're actually locked? So, we would, like, double check them and stuff. And I still do it to this day.
So it was like, here, you're going to make sure. Because I would tell her the doors were locked. And she's like, are you sure? Did you check this window? And did you check that window? And I was like, all right, you're coming with me. So we would troll around the entire house. And she would check that all the windows were closed.
Like, I'm not
And
even
all the
anxious
doors.
about it anymore. But, like, sometimes they'll leave the doors unlocked. And I'm like,
When
"Day,
For a
maybe."
while
was there a specific story that happened
For a while there,
where she had a Barbie bat?
she still has her pink Hello Kitty bat.
Yeah.
For a while, she would even come out with the bat and check the windows or the doors herself.
Sometimes I'll hear like the door rattling and
Or
like
noises.
yeah, and I'll like come out there and like sounds like footsteps, but everyone will be asleep. So I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? Just in case.
Didn't you almost try to like attack your grandpa?
He left, and I heard the door slam, and I was like, "Oh my God, who's inside the house?" So I went out there.
How
with,
old were you?
I don't know. This was like a year ago or two. So I went out there with a bat because I was like, Dude, what the hell? Who's in the house?
And it's a metal bat. So someone one of these days
They're
is
gonna
gonna
fucked
get
up.
fucked
I
up.
was so lucky that it was him leaving and not him coming in, because that would have been so bad.
Knocking Perfecto out. Oh,
Dude,
my
I would
God.
have felt really bad, but I'm like,
She's played with the bat a handful of times at the park when she was like 6. And ever since, the whole purpose of the bat has been a fucking
Self-defense.
guarding the house.
That's hilarious. Where's it at now?
under my bed still, so it's in arm reach, so like I can reach right under.
He got mad at me one time because I went under and I was looking for something and I looked under her bed and I was like, oh shit, you got your own Lucille? And she's like, what is that? And I was like, from Breaking Bad, the bat.
Not Breaking Bad.
Or
The
not
Walking
Breaking Bad, The
Dead.
Walking Dead. I was like, it's your little Lucille.
That's hilarious.
She was like, it's not Lucille.
Funny, that's too good. So getting back to this, Chucky's in the house, right?
He is.
And he's looking up the stairs, and all of a sudden it pans to Tommy, the other good guy doll. He's like, you son of a bitch. And he slams on the ground, and then he takes that porcelain figurine that Andy got shunned for touching, and he picks that up and starts bashing Tommy's face in. He breaks it.
Yeah. And at the same time, Joanne is upstairs with Andy, like reading him a bedtime book, and then they get done doing that, and she starts singing him a lullaby. And fucking Chucky does the creepiest thing where he's just standing. You see him, and he's standing at the bottom of the stairs,
Yeah.
and he's just swinging his little head side to side to the song, like listening. He's like, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, how fucking creepy.
All right.
It's the crazy little fucking possessed doll.
And then Chucky, he ends up taking Tommy out in the backyard. And they didn't, this is an extra scene, but I fucking love this scene. He digs a perfect, like, Tommy-sized hole, and underneath the swing, and he's just like, all right, Tommy, eat some dirt. And he's laughing
Yeah.
about it. He's like, ah! And he's using the good guy shovel.
Yeah, he's like, eat dirt, Tommy.
Like a fucking maniac. He got a lot of joy into that. So he buried Tommy in a shallow grave. He goes back inside and he sits on the staircase.
Mhm.
And then this is the next day, right?
Yeah,
And they come down. They're like, dude, you fucking who broke this?
the figurine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to know.
They have both Andy and Kyle at the kitchen table questioning them.
They both deny it, and then Phil's like, well, you know what I have to do now, since you both won't
Admit it.
admit it, you both are grounded. And she's like, what? I have a hot date.
Yeah, and
With-
then with who? With
Nobody.
Richard. And then we see Andy's hanging out with Kyle. She's doing laundry and she's upset. She's like, dude, you got me grounded. Because at this point, she even thinks that
And
it's
she's
Andy.
a chain smoker, smoking down there.
Yeah. She's like, you got me. She's like, this is not what I want to do on my day off. And she's doing laundry. Yeah, she's smoking. At one point, she hands her cigarette over to Andy. She's like, hold this. And he just puts it in his mouth and takes a puff and starts coughing.
And she's like, dude.
She's like, that's gross. Don't do that.
I like his joke, though. He's like, do you want to hear a joke? You want me to say your name backwards? And he just turns around. He's like, Kyle. She's like, you're really annoying me.
I love that.
Look, I can do it too. Richard.
So no, they're kind of sharing it back and forth. She's still cool about it.
Yeah, they're talking about the foster parents. And,
I think she has a soft spot for Andy because she grew up throughout the foster system too.
yeah, and she tells him, just hang in there. Like, Phil, like, he's not so bad. Like, you just gotta get used to him, his personality, his rules, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, until you break his rule.
Until you break that little porcelain doll.
And then Andy starts going upstairs. And he opens the door, and then he, like, stops, and he hears Joanne and Phil talking. He's like, man, he just can't get over that stupid doll, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if we need to take him back or what.
Oh, yeah, and she's saying, maybe he just has, like, some trauma. Maybe he just needs more attention. And he's like, well, can we give him more attention? Like, does he need professional help? And the mom's like, maybe just a
Which
little
are
bit more
fair.
time and see maybe, he comes around. And so Andy's like, shit, they're going to kick me out.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to go. So he even though he hates this fucking doll, he even goes up. He's like, I fucking hate you so much. And he's like, he takes him and he's like,
well, before that, Chucky responds and
he's
says,
like, I'm Tommy.
He hesitates, the fucking asshole.
He's like, hi, I'm Tommy. You want to play?
You want a hug?
And he's like, I fucking hate
And
you.
Andy checks the batteries and he's like, no, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, okay. And he takes Chucky and starts carrying him around so the parents see it. And they're like, oh, wow. You really adjusted.
That was quick.
And they're outside and he sets Chucky down and Kyle is on the swing. Or no, she's gardening and he's on the swing.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, I need to take a break. I don't know what they're talking about.
Her life story throughout, like, the foster home. Because he was like, do you miss your parents? And she's like, you can't miss what you didn't have.
Yeah.
And then she, like, got put in the foster home when she was, like, 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I get the mic closer.
And, yeah, so Andy's like, come here, sit down, and I'll push you on the swing. And Chucky's watching them. And she doesn't want to be swing, but they're playing around, and Andy just keeps pushing her over and over.
Yeah.
Her feet start like scraping off some of the dirt where
and
Tommy's
Chucky's eyes got big. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. And it just keeps moving the dirt over and over, and then they get yelled at by the foster parents that dinner's ready, so it stops so they don't find out that Tommy's there. And they're running inside, and Kyle's like, hey, don't forget your dolls. So Andy turns around and grabs Chucky and brings him back inside.
Like,
and they have their dinner, they go to bed, and Chucky's upstairs in his bedroom, and Andy is upstairs, and he has Chucky with him in the room this time. Again, trying to prove that he's working through his trauma. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see Joanne, she's sewing something. She's making something for Kyle, like a scarf or some sort of veil thing.
Right.
And she's like, and she asks Phil, she's like, do you have any ideas to maybe make like Andy feel a little more comfortable? He's like, yeah, Valium.
Yeah, Valium.
I was like, you did. And you see Chucky wake up. He turns his head. And the next thing you know, he has Andy tied up, arms and legs on his bed with the sock in his mouth so he won't yell.
He's like, let's play a little game. Hide the soul.
He's
and
like,
guess what, Andy? You're it.
And he's like, I missed you. Did you miss me? Hell no.
And Andy's like, help.
Yeah, and Chucky starts his little...
Ade Due Damballa.
Mm-hmm.
I beg of you to give me the power.
And he hears a noise outside, and it's Kyle. And she climbs, so she snuck out at one point from the house and is crawling in through Andy's window. And so Chucky's like, fine. He's like, but next time we're alone, we're going to finish this. And he goes back to acting like a doll. And Kyle walks into this fucking scene of Andy tied up with the doll
coming
sitting
through the
next
window.
to his
She
chest.
snuck out. She snuck out to actually make her day.
And she's like, dude, what are you doing? And Andy's freaking out as soon as she starts loosening the rope. He's like, it's Chucky. I told you he'd find me, and he's trying to kill me. And he punches it off. And she's like, dude, shut up. Like, you're going to get us both in trouble. Because she snuck out. And immediately the parents are there. I was like, whoa, that was they're like, right on it.
They're like, you sicko, why'd you tie him up?
Yeah. They're like, are you trying to keep him quiet?
And Andy's like, dude, it was Chucky. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he's done.
And Phil grabs Chucky. He's like, Andy, come with me. Or he's like, I'm ending this.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy follows him. He's like, wait, he's going to kill us. And chases Phil. And then Phil's like, dude, watch this. He throws it down the stairs. He's like, he's down there. It's done. We're done with this.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then Chucky lands at the bottom of the stairs, and he gets a nosebleed. And he's like, fuck. He's like, if we don't do this whole fucking body conversion, like, he's going to be stuck in this doll forever.
Yeah.
So the next day, they're walking towards school. So Kyle and Andy's about to get on the school bus. Kyle's walking to school.
Yeah.
She's like, so tell me, like, how the hell did you pull that off last night? How did you get yourself, like, tied up the way you were?
He's like, I already told you.
Yeah.
You just won't believe me.
It's fucking Chucky. So he gets on the bus. He goes all the way to the very back. And as the bus pulls off from their street, you see Chucky's little legs dangle at the bottom of the bus, climbing up, fucking following him.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And then he's in the classroom. And you see Chucky. He's in a classroom by himself. He's going through like the kids' homework or paperwork.
Yeah, they're in like recess, and then he's like, "Where is it? Where is it?" And he finds Andy's paperwork, which I didn't get at first. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Why
so
the
what is he
fuck?
doing?"
This is just for comedic relief," and I still believe that.
But it fits. It works.
Yeah, to get him alone, I guess makes sense. And he puts what's he write on Andy's paper?
Fuck you, bitch.
But class resumes, all the kids are back, and then we see Mrs. Kettlewell. And this kid, he's just picking on Andy. He was the same one from the bus. And Andy turns around to try to get the kid to stop. And Miss Kettlewell, she's like, hey, like, what the hell's going on? Like, I'm not very patient for students who are disrupting my class, especially the new ones. You should be trying to get on my good side. And I was like, dude, calm down.
I'd beat the brakes off that teacher. Like, screw you. I ain't getting on no one's good side.
Yeah.
And dude, the kids clearly like hear him out. Like, this kid's fucking with him.
Yeah.
Any teacher that I've ever had would have heard you out. And you would know the troublemaker.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be like, dude, we'll just call him Zach. Like, Zach, you motherfucker need to chill out. You know?
Yeah. So the kids are, it looks like they're done for the day. And then she starts going through her papers and she flips to the paper and it has Andy's name on it.
Do you remember who your second grade teacher was?
No.
What about third grade?
No.
Did you have grades like that in Mexico?
No, it was just one grade. You just went to school and that's it.
Oh, okay.
You just learned every year something different.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Kidding.
Cool. That's cool.
No, you just showed up to a building, everybody, all ages.
I figured.
You sing Kumbaya, my lord.
Wow. Wow. You had a really good childhood. Good education.
We had fun. We ran around the jungle, played with the birds.
Nice.
Shout out Miss Elizabeth. I forgot her name. I think it was that, right? Third
Miss
grade
Elizabeth?
teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was Miss Shashelsky.
Shashelsky?
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
That sounds fun to say.
Shashelsky.
Shashelsky.
Yeah.
That sounds like a tongue twister. Shashelsky sold seashells by the seashore.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember my teacher.
I don't remember my second grade teacher's name.
I do. Mine was
remember what she
Miss
looked like.
Serenzia.
You had S name teachers?
I remember your
The other
second
one was
grade
CH.
teacher, but I don't remember her name.
Yeah, me too. See?
Hmm.
See, we read, what was it, BFG or whatever. I remember that.
I remember my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Boyer. He was cool. He'd sing songs.
What kind
Like
of
that
songs?
song, The Lime and the Coconut. He would. He had a guitar.
Freaking
I was like,
out.
we didn't learn anything in that class ever. We didn't learn math or shit. He
That
would just play.
explains a lot.
He-
Just kidding.
He would drive a taxi to, like, he had a taxi. It wasn't in like work anymore. Like,
Oh,
it was
you
just his
said.
regular car.
Um,
And then he just played guitar all day. I'm like, dude,
I
this guy's
remember
living the dream. He checked out.
I was supposed to have Mr. Lipsker, but he was never there, so I had Mrs. Valley.
Oh, for fifth grade, yeah.
Damn.
He was away on
personal
medical
reasons.
leave.
But he actually teaches also at my high school.
Oh, he
so-
does?
Yeah, you didn't know that? He was a high
Mm-mm.
school teacher too.
Uh,
At that
Nice.
time too.
Sounds like a burnout.
Interesting.
Joking.
I've heard he's a
Wow.
good teacher. He's pretty nice.
Yeah. Anyways, I just was curious.
No, Richard, we had normal grades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You just- I was-
we even had kindergarten.
Did you remember the teacher's name? Is what I asked.
No, then you asked if we had the same grades.
I
in
don't know. Some
Mexico.
shit's fucking changed. Dog. I
No,
don't know.
it wouldn't. Jesus, it's not the jungle, man. There
It
was a
is.
society.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Are you checked?
Yep,
Are you satisfied?
I am.
Can we go back
That's
to
satisfied
Chucky
there.
now?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so she finds the assignment that says F-U, biatch. And she's like, oh, hells to the mother freaking
And
no.
She is obviously pissed.
She's like, Andy, get your little
Booty.
booty over here. He's like, it wasn't me. And she's like, I know it was you. And while this is happening, Andy opens like a little cubby thing where he has like his backpack or something. And fucking Chucky's in there already.
Yeah.
Just hiding and waiting. And he's freaked out. He's like processing that Chucky's in the classroom now. And the teacher's yelling at him all at fucking once.
Yeah, and she's like, you do not get to play with toys.
Yeah, and she grabs Chucky, takes it to this closet that's in the classroom, and locks him away.
And she's like, heads down.
Yeah, and she's like, he's not leaving, makes him sit, yeah, and then locks Andy in the classroom and walks away with her clickety-clackety shoes. They were very loud.
Yeah.
And she leaves, and Andy's sitting there by himself, just staring at the closet door, like obviously scared. And he gets the guts and walks up to it. And as he
looks through the keyhole.
And here you see Chucky's little eyeball.
And he's like, boo. And then he's like, hey, Andy, let me out. Let me out.
The way he
Won't
says
kill people
Andy.
anymore.
Yeah, I won't kill anybody anymore, you little dick.
Yeah,
And he starts raging. I think that's one of the classic, like, Brad Dourif, Chucky thing is he's calm. And then all of a sudden he can explode.
he can be very, like, nice and polite to
And
try to
then
convince
Bam.
you. Yeah. And, yeah, so Andy's like, screw this.
Jumps out the window.
Mm-hmm. He's off. Which, did he get on the bus? Did he
No.
take his
I
backpack?
think
No, he ran home.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said that. He's like, I had to run home. Chucky was there.
Yeah.
And apparently, so the teacher comes in, she's looking for him, and she's confused. She's still hearing the rattling in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
and she just assumes that Andy is in there playing with this
Just
toy.
like, how do you lockpick
How-
that? Yeah.
And how'd he get in there?
Yeah. And
She's
then how do
stupid.
you lock it again?
It's so dumb.
Yeah, so she's like, Andy, and unlocks the closet, and there's no one in there that she can see.
She's like, Andy?
She's looking around everywhere, doesn't see him. And finally, like, a basketball falls on her back or on the floor.
Yeah.
On her back.
And she's like, all right, cool, I found you. So she picks up the basketball, puts it up again. And as she does that, pops Chucky with a freaking stick or a pen or
No,
something.
it's an to pump up the basketballs. It's a little air pump. And she pokes her, and then she's like, ah, and then he like pushes air into her, and she's like launches out. She's like, ah.
There's something with this movie and like launching people.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And she comes dramatically overacting into like all the, what do you call
Oh,
those?
there's
The
desk.
desk. Yeah. She's like, oh. And then he's like, you've been very naughty.
With the
Mrs.
ruler.
Yeah.
Kettlewell.
Cattlewell. And he has the ruler just hitting it on his
Just
hand.
starts smacking the shit out of her.
He looks
Classic.
creepy too.
He was, his face right there was intense.
Yeah.
Could you imagine again being a small child watching this movie?
Richard is like trying to like make a
Traumatized.
point
He's
that this was
traumatized.
very traumatizing. You got traumatized by this movie, not this movie in particular, just Chucky the doll.
Because we
What kid hasn't?
we had this hallway and it was really dark and there wasn't it like the thing was at the end of the hallway the like to like turn the lights on.
So I fucked up one time. Bianna and I were up late watching movies and I fell asleep and it was a DVD. And you know how I would go back to the beginning and play trailers
Yeah.
for movies that
Chucky
were
was
coming out.
one.
And I passed out and I was out while she watched the trailer for Chucky. And I didn't know that she had seen Chucky. So then all of a sudden,
Oh, you're like Richard's mom. You just left it on.
Oh my God.
then she never said anything. Then all of a sudden, like, go on with your
Yeah.
story.
So I like it was a dark hallway to get to the bathroom, and I would never want to go to the bathroom because I thought there were like things lurking behind like the washing machine where it was
Oh my
like
God.
Chucky, La Llorona, El Cucoy. I thought there was like monsters there, and I would run to the bathroom, and I was like, eh.
And she finally like said like she was so scared she didn't want to go to the bathroom. And I asked why, and she said Chucky. And I was like, wait, like I didn't know she had seen the trailer because she was so young. You were like 4. And I was like, where the hell did you watch Chucky? And she's like, in that movie. And so we went back and I saw that there was a trailer for
You're like,
Chucky
"Son
in
of a
there. And I
bitch."
was like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, I'm going to cure you of this. So we went down the rabbit hole of YouTube and I think I had Chucky's Bride or Seed of Chucky, but one of the two has behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I sat with her and I was like, we're going to watch behind the scenes. I was like, it's not real. So she saw the animatronics, all the people controlling. And I was like, this is real life. Like this is how the movie's made.
Right.
And I think it helped her a little bit after she saw that it wasn't real. And I was like, oh, cool. Shit, my bad, bro.
That's hilarious. So yeah, now Mrs. Kettlewell is dead. And we go back, and we never get follow-up for any of these deaths either. The assistant that died, Kettlewell, we don't hear anything about this. Like, it'd be pretty dramatic. Wherever this kid goes, well, technically it wasn't with the assistant, but Andy's paperwork's in that car. So everybody that's dying has something involved with Andy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we get no follow-up from that. That's kind of one of the loose... I'm okay with it, but that's just a loose end. I wish they maybe timed it.
I feel like it would have taken too long following up, like, oh, this person died, and this. Maybe that's where the detective would have fit in. That he would have been following the trail.
Oh shit, here we go again. But it would have cut out a lot of. It would have cut out a lot of the story because now the detective would know. He'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta find this little fucker.
And they would take away from Andy and Chucky time to follow the detective and his role in the movie.
Yeah. So now, what do we see?
So we're back at the home, and apparently the teacher, when she locked Andy in the classroom, she called his parents, the foster parents, and they're talking to him about it. They're like, your teacher called. She said that, you know, you wrote something very naughty on a letter. And he's like, no, like, again, it was Chucky. And the stepdad is like, dude, here we go again. So he has him follow him to the basement.
The door.
And he opens it. He's like, now tell me, what do you see at the bottom of the stairs? And Chucky's already back, and he's just laying in his little stupid position.
He's like, Chucky, but... And he's like, no buts. I don't want to hear this shit.
Yeah, and he's like, and the other thing, he's like, it's not Chucky, it's Tommy. And he wants him to agree, like, that doll down there is Tommy. And
let's be real, Phil admitted he's totally ill-equipped to handle a kid with these problems.
Mm-hmm. So he has him agree, and again, they go back to talking, the foster parents, and again, feels like, you know, like, I really, really think now that he needs professional help, and they kind of have, like, a little back and forth, like, do we send him back? Do we keep him?
Joanne is like, you've always wanted that since day one.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm just saying, man, he's, like, speaking truth.
Which I can see both sides of that.
Kinda. Yeah.
And Kyle, at the same time, she's trying to, like, comfort Andy, and he's like, dude, like, it's gonna work out. And he's like, no, but, like, if they really decide to get rid of me, like, where am I gonna go? And Kyle's like, I've lived, you know, she tells her again, like, she's been through a lot of homes.
She's been throughout the system.
And she's like, in my experience, every time you get a little comfortable, like, you get sent away. She's like, but if anything, like, those experiences, it just makes you stronger. So, and he's like, dude, he's like, but it doesn't matter where I go. Like, Chucky's always going to be following him. And nighttime comes, and then Andy decides to be brave, and he take it up on his hands.
So he had that brave talk with Kyle, right? Mm-hmm. She's like, it makes you stronger, like you were saying. He's like, fuck this. I'm going to be strong. And he had Kelly Clarkson bumping in his headphones. Mm-hmm. I want to make me stronger. So he goes downstairs. He's looking for the perfect weapon. He ends up getting that meat cutter deal. And he's like, I know what I got to do. I'm going to go fucking fuck shit up. So he goes downstairs and he's searching, isn't he? He's just looking hard. He's being tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he keeps hearing noises, little shuffling, little feet running around in the basement.
Classic Chucky tropes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he hears a noise and he walks towards the washer and dryer. He opens up the washer and just puts the little turkey cutter and starts chopping shit up in there.
So I'm like, no, dude, Phil's gonna get so pissed at you, man. Like, cutting up all the clothes.
All the whitey tighties. And in the background, while he's like in the fucking washer, you can see Chucky's shadow in the background run. And
I wanted to bring this up. Vienna, how did you feel about Andy's outfit, wardrobe?
Oh, yeah. His outfits, they were tough. I would wear them.
You would?
Yeah.
Dude, we got to hook you up.
He has like a little car sweater with like the lights.
And the airplane.
Yeah, an airplane. What else was there?
You liked the pants, didn't you?
Yeah, his little baggy jeans.
I did.
And Kyle's outfits too.
Yeah.
I did see that one of the jackets that Andy wore in this movie
Mm-hmm.
is the same jacket that was worn by a kid in another horror movie. I think it was the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
They put the exact same color coat on this kid.
Oh, like the raincoat?
Yeah, it was the same one. There's just
Okay.
sharing of outfits.
Oh, I
in
don't
the
recall.
horror movies.
Because if you guys
It'd
see
be about the same time.
my
those movies
wardrobe,
are made.
the like little heart sweater I have, and
Oh my
like the other
God.
one, all my
You dress like
Granny
an old
sweaters.
man.
I'm not ashamed. No,
Oh
I'm just
my
kidding.
God. I'm gonna call you Victor. No.
Victor.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no. Andy hears a noise behind him and he walks towards it. And then Chucky jumps him on his back. You just see his little fucking
he's
legs
like,
flopping.
His
hilarious.
feet. They're like,
So Andy's laying on the
Flapping, yeah.
floor. Chucky's on top of him. He has his little fucking. How does he like have enough reach to reach around his neck
He
and
does
his arms?
though,
Like
and he
I
just
don't.
biting. He's like biting his neck, dude.
in
His
his ear.
Yeah.
And you see his little kicks like struggling. And then Andy in this like struggle, he dropped the knife, the turkey cutter, so he's
And
trying
he's
to
reaching
crawl
for
towards it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he grabs it and he reaches behind and cuts Chucky in the face a little bit. And the stepdad, he's upstairs, hears like noise and commotion, so he runs downstairs. He's like, "Here we fucking go." And he walks in there, he opens it, and at first he's mad, but then he sees Andy holding
He's
the
like,
turkey
Andy-
cutter, and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, he's like, Andy, you need to put that knife down. And he's trying to like talk him off the ledge. Like, I don't know what he thinks.
Like
But-
he's gonna freak out on them.
Or hurt someone. So he's like, hey, and he starts walking down slowly. And then Chucky, he sees this and he grabs the poker,
the
like a
thing
for a
for the
fireplace.
fireplace.
Yeah, stoker. And he grabs that and then he like jams it into Phil's foot.
He pushes it through the stairs, through
Yeah.
one of the openings.
It was
Yeah.
like a hook though, so it
And
hooked itself.
pulls, on Phil's leg, and he falls.
Yeah, he's like, son of a bitch. And he falls, he's dangling there, isn't he?
Yeah, and then Chucky walks up to him. He's like, "Hey, how's it hanging, Phil?"
And he's like, how's it hanging, Phil?
I was like, "Oh," he's phased, Phil, when he realized,
And he's like, oh, fuck, it's real.
yeah. And then, he lets go of the hook and he falls down and breaks his neck.
Which was an epic kill, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And then the stepmom, she runs in. Kyle is there, and the stepmom is just like so upset, like that when you get so upset that you're like out of breath almost.
Yeah.
And Andy tries to walk toward her, and she's like, "No, stay away from me."
Yeah.
Kyle calls 911.
Yeah. And fucking, dude. And I get it in the moment, blaming Andy. Because if Andy wasn't down there,
He wouldn't have gone.
Yeah. But at the same time, Andy's fine for his life, so you kind of feel bad. But this is the end of him in that home because now the foster lady picks him up, right?
Yeah, so the ambulance comes and takes the body, and then the mom starts packing. Kyle walks in and she helps Joanne pack up Andy, and she's like, I'll do it. I'll help finish packing up. And Joanne feels a little guilty, and she's like, maybe it's my fault. Like Phil's been saying, he's been toying with the idea of sending Andy back, and she's like, but I didn't listen to him. Maybe we should have gotten him more help and like have him sent somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so Kyle takes Andy's suitcase downstairs to the social worker. And the lady's like, okay, Andy, like you're going to stay with us for a couple days, and then we're going to find you another nice little home. And before Andy leaves, he turns to Kyle and he's like, hey, Chucky's still in the house. He's here around here. Just don't let him get to you. And they leave. And Kyle goes back downstairs because the police are still investigating. They're looking
Yeah.
around, poking. And
They're like, did anybody else see this besides the kid?
yeah.
The accident besides the kid? And I go, oh, okay.
And Kyle finds Chucky's just sitting down there at the bottom of the stairs, kind of behind the stairs.
Yeah, and she's done with it.
Yeah, so she takes it, goes outside and throws it in the trash. And then she goes and sits on the swing again and starts smoking. And she starts swinging.
Yeah, dragging her feet.
And as she's swinging and swinging, like the dirt scraping off, and you can see it one of Tommy's foot a little bit. So she stops and she's like, what the hell? And she reaches down and pulls off the doll and sees that it's like its face is all broken and torn up.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the hell? And she turns around and looks at the trash can because she thought she had just put Tommy in the trash.
Right.
So she walks up to the trash can to be like, all right, maybe like Andy was not also off the hook. And she takes off the lid and Chucky's gone. And she hears noise coming from upstairs. And she remembers, she's like, shit, Joanne. So she runs inside the house. And she's going through one of like, I don't know, like a utility closet downstairs. And she finds a knife, like a sharp knife, Kyle. And she takes it. And she slowly makes her way upstairs to where Joanne is at.
Yeah.
And as you're going up, you can already kind of tell that like shit went down. There's a ball of yarn just like hanging
you're just
on the
hearing
stairs.
the sewing machine.
And it's going.
Before we continue with that, I do want to touch on that "How's it hanging, Phil?" That became a signature quote in the Child's Play franchise. Yeah. That's famous. I always remember that line.
Oh, you or everybody?
I think just in general.
Oh.
That's what I was reading in my notes. It's one-liner. Phil's death, "How's it hanging, Phil?" became one of the character's signature moments of dark humor. Anyways, continue.
Kyle makes it up. The bedroom where Joanne is slightly open, so she pushes it in. She's calling out her name, but she's not getting an answer, so she's worried.
She's like, Joanne?
Mama. She walks up to her and grabs a chair and like turns it. And Joanne has like a gag on her mouth and her throat is slit open.
Yeah, intense.
So she's done.
Which this foster family did not deserve this.
No, and Kyle's like in fucking shock. So she sits on the bed, and as she sits down, you see sheets just lift up behind her, and it's Chucky, and he fucking grabs her from the back, and she's like trying to push him off, grabs a lamp within reach, and then smacks him, and that's how she gets him off of her.
Yeah.
And
which this scene, that off-screen death of Joanne, it's not shown in detail, but it builds suspense and leaves the focus on the impending showdown between Andy, Kyle, and Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
It's building that up. We're starting to hit that climax.
Kyle drops the knife that she brought from downstairs, and she sees it. It's just there on the floor close to the bed. She goes to grab it, and you see, that was another creepy scene. Chucky's hand just reach out and grab it and take it quick underneath the bed. Because one thing that I mentioned to Vienna was like, dude, I was like, this fucker is fast.
Yeah.
Like, she hit him with the lamp and turns around and he's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like,
another classic Chucky trope.
Yeah.
Is like in the first movie, when she finds that he doesn't have batteries in, drops him and he rolls under the couch really fast.
Gone.
This one, he grabs the knife really fast.
And then, so Kyle's like, all right, fuck this. So she starts slowly walking backwards, trying to make her way out of the room. And Chucky trips her. And she falls. And he gets on her face and he's like, bitch, you fucking hurt me. When she hit him with the lamp. And
he's like, you hurt me.
Yeah, he's fucking salty about it. So change of plans. She's his new driver. Mm-hmm. And she's gonna drive him to the
that sexy
orphanage.
Red station wagon. I fucking want one so bad.
What?
I want that red station wagon.
This is news to me.
Could you imagine driving in that with Chancho?
Hell to the motherfucking no.
Really? I would. I would love it. Oh my god.
Are you for reals?
Growing up, I've always wanted a station wagon with wood paneling on the side.
Oh my god, that's like a serial killer car.
What? No, man. That's a family cruiser. Damn. I would have loved it. We had a Plymouth station wagon, man, growing up. It was gray.
Plymouth?
Or silver. Fucking love that thing with red interior. It was the best.
We had a Subaru Wagner.
Nice. I like those too.
You like those too?
Yeah. Anyways,
continue. Can I continue?
Continue.
I had a 87 Chevy. What was it called?
Lumina?
Illumina, and it had like the run-on back seats and the front seat, and it had like a felt like fucking cloth.
Was that your first car?
fabric. No, that was my second car.
My first car, I remember my dad traded crack for it. It was a 92 Subaru Legacy. That thing mobbed in the snow. In Spokane,
That was first one.
we had a mega like snowstorm, and snow piled up. It was hard to travel through. Do you remember that year in 08?
Yep, I remember that year. I fucking fell in the snow.
Dude, my fucking My Subaru mobbed through the snow. It was awesome.
I lived on the South Hill at that time.
Yeah.
And we were snowed in. Like, there was nothing. I remember our downstairs neighbors, like, they had an emergency. The ambulance couldn't make it. So all the neighbors came out and they all shoveled the ambulance out of our neighborhood so that they could take her to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was, like, knee deep. But, well, for me, it was more like my thigh.
Yeah.
Of snow when you went outside.
That was crazy.
I remember walking to the store because we couldn't drive.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Hilarious. Anyways, love you, Pops.
No, my first car was a 2002. No, it was a 97 Nissan. What are the two popular ones? It was a little car.
Ultima?
I think it was an Ultima.
Okay, well, you're bougie.
Why?
Huh.
It was a piece of shit. It kept breaking. That
Bougie.
car made me cry.
Bougie.
As soon as I would get out of the shop, it would break again. The service light would come on, and I was putting like paycheck after paycheck. I kept taking it in, and they're like, "Oh, and then this thing,
another one, man.
and then this thing," and I was like, "No."
Oh, okay, cool. Sidetracked. We'll close that tab. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead. So they get on the road, and Kyle's driving. Chucky's throwing at her with a knife, and she's like, dude, like, what's the rush? And he's like, I need out of this body. I will get stuck in here. And he's like, come on, go faster. And she doesn't want to go fast, and he keeps fucking yelling at her. And so she starts speeding, and a cop sees them, and they get pulled over. And he's like, act cool, or I will kill you if I have to.
Yeah.
So the cop comes in, and he's talking to her. She was speeding, blah, 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 blah. And then he looks over and he sees Chuck, and he's like, hey, I recognize those things.
He's like, what's your name, buddy? And he's like, Chucky.
Yeah. And he's like, ho, 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 like not catching on. And then Chucky starts getting another nosebleed, and he's like, hey, what's up with that? Like, what's that on his face? And Kyle's like, oh, you know those dolls that like pee? This one bleeds out of his nose. And he's like, oh, that's funny. And she's like, yeah. He's like, all right. He's like, I'm going to give you a break. Like, slow down, buckle up, yada, yada. And he lets her go. And again, Chucky's like, dude, drive faster, drive faster. She's like, fine, I'll fucking drive fast. So she buckles up and she starts going fast. And then, does she hit something the first time, or does she just slam on her brakes?
She just slams on her brakes.
Yeah, and so this windshield was not very strong because Chucky comes out flying.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was his metal head, his steel head. But he comes out flying through the windshield. And he's out there, and she backs up, and she goes to hit him again. But he gets out of the way so she doesn't hit him. So she gets out of the car slowly to see where he is. And by this time, he's on top of the car, and he grabs her again, and he's like, all right. He's like, playtime is over, Kyle. And I'm assuming this was him, because there's a fire alarm, and you go inside the orphanage.
Yeah.
And there's a fire alarm, so all the kids are getting evacuated. But I think Andy had a feeling that this was coming.
Yeah.
Because before they arrived, he did not get in pajamas. He got back onto his street clothes.
Well, he is trying to figure it out. He's like, Chucky's coming. I got you ready.
So he's the last one to come downstairs. And the lady finds him, and she's like, come on, Andy, we need to get outside. And at the bottom of the stairs is Kyle, and she's holding Chucky. And Chucky has a knife behind her back. And she's like, the lady at the orphanage, she's like, hey, Kyle, like, what are you doing? She's like, is this you? Like, is this one of your jokes? Like, are you the one that came here?
And she's like,
to
no.
pull the fire alarm?
No, it's not me.
Yeah, and she nods at Chucky. She's like, it's him.
And she's like, oh my God, come on, you two.
takes him into her office. And she takes Chucky from Kyle, and she's like, I'm done with this. And Chucky just wastes no time. He stabs her.
Yeah. And then she has another classic scene where she goes into the Xerox machine and like it shows her face, that classic trope of like printing her death face, which if we can get a copy of that, that'd be awesome. And then get Alex Vincent to sign it.
Didn't she launch on it too?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, getting his autograph on that would be awesome. I'm talking giveaway.
So Kyle she reaches for Andy. She's like, dude, come on, let's get out of here. She gets out of the room, but Chucky shuts the door and he's in there with Chucky. And she's like, no, you're not going anywhere. He's like, we're going to play Chucky Says. And
Chucky says, hurry the hell up. Move your ass.
And he grabs the knife and he has Andy walk outside of the orphanage.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, if they were alone in this room, why didn't he just do his ritual right there instead of taking him back to the... I get why they wanted to go back to where it all started, where the doll was made.
No, they didn't want to go there. They just happened to get there.
No, but I know. I'm saying Chucky had a moment alone with Andy at the orphanage.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just perform it there?
He just do it there.
Maybe he felt pressure because the door could get kicked down or whatever.
I don't know.
By Kyle.
So he was trying to do it on the run in the paper truck.
So yeah, he has Andy get out of there. They see a newspaper truck jump in there. And Kyle saw their little Andy's legs running through the alley.
With Chucky on his back.
Truck. So she follows them. And the truck, it drives to the factory.
Well,
and the
driving
truck...
crazy, and then she's trying to pull him over. He's like, God damn, what are you doing? He's trying to do his little mail route or his news route and his paper route. And she ends up cutting him off. They end up crashing. She gets behind and looks back there, but they're gone. And then you see Chucky and Andy running away, and she goes and chases them. They just so happen to run to the factory.
Okay. So...
And the factory garage door is open, and they run through, and then it starts shutting, and then Kyle does a dramatic run like, no, and rolls in the nick of time underneath the garage door.
Yeah, and then Chucky finds a perfect spot and has Andy stop. And he's like, all right, Andy, count to 7. He's like, this is it, world. No more Mr. Good Guy. And he starts his ritual and starts doing his magic words. And you see the big puffy black clouds go up and all the theatrics.
So before you do this, the final showdown here, the Toy Factory. The Toy Factory set was built on a massive scale, and it became one of the most iconic horror settings of the 1990s. The set was specifically designed to create opportunities for Chucky's multiple deaths, each more gruesome than the last.
Nice.
Which I didn't realize this was, I knew it was a set because who has a good guy factory?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how big it really is until I watched it a couple times this week. I'm like, holy shit, this thing, it didn't register until really watching this. I'm like, they move here to here to here. It really was huge.
Yeah, you're just endless, just fucking rows of good guy dolls.
Yeah, and just the factory of the making of the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Continue.
So Chucky starts. Yes, master.
Ade Due Damballa.
Give me the power, I beg of you. Awaken.
You sound like a black metal song. Those vocals.
Do us. Do us. Do.
It all happens. He finishes his thing. The clouds come back in. Everything, the dust settles. And both Andy and Chucky open their eyes. They just look at each other and they're like, huh? And Chucky gets another nosebleed and he's like, fuck.
It's too late.
Yeah, and he blames Andy. He's like, dude, it's all your fault. If you had just fucking given it up a while ago and just let me take over your little body, but now I'm trapped in here.
Yeah.
And he's like, fine, I'm just gonna fucking kill you. And at this time, Kyle finds him and she knocks over some of those boxes and tells Andy to run away. So they both start running around the warehouse, and this is where you were talking about that it's just massive.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't find an exit, and they run into one of the conveyor belts, and is dropping boxes down.
Right.
So Kyle was like, all right, we're going to climb up it. And she goes first, and then Andy starts following. She makes it to the top, and she turns around to help him, and he's right about to reach for her hand, and he slips, and he rolls all the way to the bottom. And as he's getting to the bottom, Chucky's there waiting with the knife. And he's like, oh, shit. He catches himself, and Andy starts crawling up quick. And behind him is Chucky, just using the knife to help him climb up. And again, Andy makes it to the top. Kyle pulls him up over, and she shuts like a gate or a door.
Right.
And then it catches Chucky's hand, so his hand is stuck in there.
This scene has sat with me my whole life.
Your entire life?
Traumatic. This scene specifically is what I woke up to a couple times in my life.
Are you gonna have nightmares tonight?
No, what? I've already watched. I watched this movie twice.
I know, but we're going into detail now.
But this specific scene, I remember waking up screaming because at first I'm like waking up. It's hazy, and all of a sudden I see it. I'm like, ah! He rips his hand off, and it's just a stump squirting fucking blood.
Let's have a moment of silence for 5-year-old Richard.
I know, Jesus Christ.
Poor Richie.
Yeah, my mom still thinks it's hilarious. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, and Chucky has no other choice but to like literally pull his little arm out, and you see it rip and flesh and just blood.
Yeah, but he grabs the knife.
So he picks up the knife with his other hand.
Yeah, and then he goes and finds a vise, and he puts the knife end like there, and then he takes a stump, and he shoves the knife into his stump, and you hear him screaming like throughout the whole factory. He's like, ah! And then he ends up getting tapes it on too. I'm like, holy shit.
At the same time, Kyle and Andy go through another machine, and it's the electric one that puts on eyeballs on the dolls.
Yeah.
And
they make this way more dramatic than it has to be.
Kyle makes it through, and Andy, he's scared of it because the machine just keeps coming down.
Yeah.
And she helps him through it.
Which, why not go around? There isn't a way to go around that?
I don't know. So there's all this happening. The machines are getting backed up, and then you see there's like a machine, like a IT controller dude.
The guy, Andy makes it through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets an alarm that the dolls are getting stuck on the conveyor belts.
Yeah.
So he goes to check it out, and you see that there's Chucky he makes it through one of the small doors in the factory, and at the same time we're seeing the mechanic, the factory mechanic.
Yeah.
He's working on the machine to see why it's not working and attaching eyes to the dolls. So which
his cool tools, his computer screen that he had wasn't even computer, it wasn't even digital. It had like an LED light showing a red light with like where the machine schematic was. Good. Yeah, it was so cheesy. It was hilarious.
But I don't know why, so he turned off the machine, right? And he gets in there and he's laying down to fix it. And Chucky sits up. He goes and stabs him. So the guy falls down completely flat on this conveyor belt.
And his head gets locked into place.
And the machine turns on, grabs his head, sets him in place. And the thing comes up from above.
And the guy's like, no.
Puts fake eyeballs on him.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So funny. He's like...
Yeah, his eyes.
Bubbly.
It's like the surprised emoji.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so his job is done, and then Kyle and Andy are on another side of the factory, and they're looking at this machine that's, I don't know what it was doing. It was sending dolls through, and it looked like it was hot because there was steam coming off of it. And they accidentally push a button, and some of the dolls start going back into the machine again. And when they came out, it had a bunch of arms, extra arms and limbs attached to it. And they're like, oh, shit, all right. And then here comes Chucky. He's on one of those little stands that are running through the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
He's trying to be the element of surprise. Yeah, with his knife arm that he has now, his hook.
His stump.
and he tries to attack Andy. He doesn't get to him, and instead one of the other machines comes down and staples him or stitches him to the
my thing
base.
is, it's like he's screaming, but it's just hitting his clothes, like putting his clothes on the ground. But it's like emphasizing like his
Crotch.
Yeah, his testicles, but he doesn't have any.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, it's hilarious. He's screaming. He's like, no, ah. But then they reverse him up the conveyor belt, and then he goes into the melting. Or no, the
it's
parts,
just
right?
The parts, yeah.
Putting the arms on, melting the arms and the legs on.
They let him sit there for a minute, and then they finally, like, reverse it till it comes out again. And here comes...
And Kyle is like, she's like, Andy, I was just playing with you.
Yeah.
And then Kyle just flips him off. And then he's like, getting all pissed. And then you just hear him screaming in there.
Yeah, they open it. He comes out, and it's just like a melted clump of
hands and legs.
Yeah, they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, and he has a bunch of extra hair attachments and limbs and everything. And they're like, cool, we did it. Like, he's dead, right?
Yeah.
And they start walking away. And they trying to find an exit. And then here comes the guy that was just killed, the mechanic.
Right.
Swinging. And he took out, when it comes swinging, it hits Kyle and knocks her over a conveyor belt.
So
the same machine.
Which, how did that guy get hung up there, by the way?
Chucky's talented.
I know, but with Stumpy with no legs, like, how did he do that? How did he have the time?
Legs.
Huh?
At this time, he did still have legs.
He got ripped because when it melted?
No, that was before. I'm assuming he tied the guy before
he had all that
he
time
went
to
in the
do
machine. He's Chucky. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. But anyways, she gets launched onto the conveyor belt.
The same one that attached all the extra limbs to Chucky.
Yeah.
But
she wouldn't really fit in the little melting area anyways, so there wasn't too much to worry about, but...
So out comes Chucky on the little platform thing that was in the conveyor belt, but this time it has wheels. So he's like wheeling himself, using his nice stumpy arm to move.
Keeps coming back.
And he goes for Andy and tries to stab him, and he gets the knife stuck on another machine.
Yeah. So my thing is, I love this because they just get more graphic with Chucky's deaths. They did this on purpose. So he gets stuck in this thing, and then they showed this hot melted plastic already dripping, and then Andy sees that, and Chucky's like, what the? And then Andy sees how to open it, the valve, and he's like, huh? Chucky did? And then he looks up, he's like, no! And then he opens the valve, and Andy has a little smirk on his face.
Yeah,
and it melts him and fucks him up, huh?
He's just like a melted blob. And Andy runs over to wake up Kyle. Right as she's about to go inside the melting thing, she wakes up and she's like, oh, okay. And
hey, she did her own stunts, by the way, in this.
She did?
Yeah.
Nice. Good job. Good job, Kyle.
I know.
And Andy's like, come check out what I did. And he shows her the melted blob of
He's like, what the
Chucky.
fuck did you do? And then Andy had his eyebrows. He's like, what's up?
Yeah.
It was kind of cute. It was adorable. Yeah, he's like, what's up?
And then she's like, cool, good job. And then, of course, he's not dead yet. This fucker.
He launches up at Kyle
and he
screaming.
Looks creepy at this point.
Oh,
dude. He's just melted plastic.
Melted. His mouth's like partially melted. And he's in her face, just steaming pile of rubber,
like,
plastic. And then there's like this tube that was air tube was freely like blowing or whatever, because Chucky accidentally cut the tubing ahead of time, and Kyle took that tubing and stuffed it in her mouth, or stuffed it in his mouth, and the melted plastic stuck, so then he had no choice. It was just filling him up with air. It's my favorite deaths of all time. And you just see his head getting bigger and bigger. It's like cartoonish, like, fuck, we gotta get out of here. And they hid underneath the conveyor belt, and then what happens?
It fucking explodes.
It's awesome. Guts everywhere.
A real combustion. Yeah, there's guts everywhere.
And it just shows his plastic corpse with just like a crater where his head used to be.
Yeah, and then the factory doors open and they're like, cool, we can leave. And they both walk out. And Andy's like, where are we going next? And she's like, home. And she's like, wherever.
She's like, I honestly don't know
where home is.
His is the military camp. But just saying.
We don't know.
Child's Play 3, what's up? CP3, what's up?
One thing, an early draft of the movie, the film was supposed to take place during Christmas, which is why they explained why there were so many good guys in the factory during the final scene.
Oh,
So that's why they were making so many.
So it's a Christmas movie?
Originally, they were trying to make it to set during Christmas time, but then they changed that.
Oh,
they kept all the dolls, but they changed the timing of it. I did see that to maneuver the Chucky doll, it required a total of 500 feet, cables, and 9 operators.
That's crazy. Dude, so did you realize Child's Play 3 came out in 1991, a year later?
Oh, yeah. I guess this was a big success. So they're like, come on. They were like pulling
Well, they
Chucky
already had it set up.
like,
Don Mancini wanted to do a third one.
They were like, make another one. Quick, 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 quick.
Oh,
that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. And then for Child's Play 2, Chucky was given a slightly more expressive design to match his increased screen presence. The team focused on making his facial movement smoother for more action-packed scenes.
Nice. I also did see that due to child labor laws and how expensive it was to have all the Chucky operators on set at the same time, sometimes they would shoot Andy and Chucky first, and then later the other actors would come in and do their scenes and just take their angles. And then at that time, Alex and Chucky were both gone.
Okay. So, guys, Angelus, what would you rate this movie?
Me? I would rate this movie, I don't know, a 4?
Give it a 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.5, 4.
So I enjoyed it.
I think a 3.5. I'm gonna go with a 3.5.
I'm gonna give
my
it
final offer.
So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it this one a because it was missing some story. It was a little bit half baked, but still entertaining. I'm giving it a 3.
Okay.
Like most movies we've reviewed, 3. Except It Follows. That's a solid 1.5.
Vienna.
No. Before we get to Vienna, what was your favorite kill?
Oh my Lanta. My favorite kill would have to be
Catawell?
I'm undecided between the mechanic dude.
Mm-hmm.
Or
which mechanic dude?
The one that got eyeballs in his head.
Okay.
Or the social worker. No, I like the mechanic dude.
You didn't like the teacher?
You didn't see a lot of it other than he stabbed her with a thing and then he whacked her to death with the ruler.
Yeah. My favorite's Phil.
I think it's the mechanic.
Nice. My favorite's Phil, followed up by the dude who got electrocuted.
Oh, at the beginning?
Yeah, it was my favorite. One of my favorites. So, who would you imagine being a character in this? Like, who would you be?
Who would I be?
Yeah.
Joanne.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Joanne.
I'm not a badass like Kyle was.
Nice. I could play a pretty good Phil. I would want to play one of the people working in the factories. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
I could be one of like the mailman or the newspaper guy. That'd be fun. Maybe the cop.
Jesus, every character.
Yeah, I could play multiple stuff.
He's a mix of everyone.
Yeah. Cool. Well, okay. So I guess without further ado, we'll head into Vienna's review corner.
Hi.
Which we got to come up with a intro to that.
No.
Na.
We'll
Vietnam.
come up. Yeah, we're going to come up with an intro to Vienna's review corner. You deserve it, kid. Everybody loves it.
All right, White Devil.
Wow.
He keeps calling himself that.
Keep calling Wheaties that.
No, before the reviews start, I have a few questions for you.
Sure, what's up?
So
me or Angelus or the podcast in general?
The both. But so we all know Richard's favorite, like Child's Play movie or like Chucky movie, but what's yours, Mom?
My favorite movie?
Out of the whole,
I would have to
Glenda.
say Bride of Chucky.
that one's good.
You know,
Get her a little in one of our intros of where we see more of Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Love her.
yeah.
We love you, Jennifer.
Please acknowledge us. Love us. Come to the Washington Horror Con so we can say hello or flip out.
We take
And
pictures with
girlfriend.
you.
What's yours, Vanna?
Probably Seated Chucky.
Seed of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky would be my favorite, but nothing beats Seated Chucky for me.
Dang.
And then my second question is, since we're going to Smashing Pumpkins later this month, what is your guys' favorite Smashing Pumpkins song?
Shit, let me Google this.
Oh.
I don't remember this song. It's my favorite, though.
I like the one. What's the name of it? It's A Rat in a Cage.
Oh.
The world is a vampire or whatever.
Jesus.
It's their best song or
Like-
their most famous
Yeah,
song.
It's the one that they keep playing. 1979.
No, that's
No, that's the album.
That's the one that's like dum
Yeah.
bam, ba-na-na-na-na.
I don't know. Oh.
Today is the
Yeah,
greatest.
Bullet with the butterfly's wings or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
I hope.
I like that one. But I'm not a big Smashing Pumpkins fan in its entirety. Billy Corgan's alright. He's kind of a weird dude. But I don't mind it. There's what it is. I never really got fully invested into him, though. How about you, Vienna?
Probably Pennies. That one's really good.
Okay. Can you sing some of it?
No. Pennies for sale. No, I'm just kidding. That's how it goes. That's how the end goes.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you rate this movie?
Probably 3.5 or 4.
Oh, shit, dude.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay. Why would you rate it that? Just curious.
I just really liked it.
Entertaining? Is this one of your more likable franchises? Because you've been quoted as saying slasher movies are overrated. Jason Michael,
by
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I need names and receipts.
Last episode.
Richard? Someone named Richard?
It was the last episode at hour and 23 mark.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
Did you put that out there for people to call me out?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Did you?
As an observer.
Is this your favorite franchise? Is one of your enjoyable?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Mm-mm.
You have Friday the 13th. You have Halloween. You have the Aliens. You
Then
have
probably-
Texas Chainsaw. You have the Friday Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, then probably.
Child's Play.
Out of those ones,
Mhm.
this is kind of on the Mount Rushmore for you.
Yeah.
It's mine too.
Yeah. They're all
Nice.
good in their own, like, kind of way, though, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, all of them are
They all
special
have
in
their
own way.
qualities.
Yeah.
What was your favorite kill? We're a bunch of sickos here. We like kills.
I don't know. I'd have to say the guy at the beginning
No.
or
Oh, the electrocuted.
Chucky. I don't know.
Oh, the Chucky
Chucky's-
ones. If you want to include the monster, then yes.
He comes back, but he's
Which
Yeah.
of all the
different for
kill?
them.
Oh, the final one where he explodes?
All of them, yeah. They're
Cool.
pretty good. Pretty interesting. So, overall, the reviews on this were, they were pretty good. There weren't really that many negative ones, but yeah. Someone gave it 4 stars and a heart and said, I know I'm supposed to be scared of Chucky, but look at this little guy. He's so short. Look at his little legs kicking around. I'm gonna pick him up.
Oh my gosh.
And then someone else gave it 3.5 and a heart and said, Chucky needs to calm the fuck down, honestly. And then someone else said 2.5. Really clever symbolism from the filmmaker's part to name the dolls good guys when Chucky is in fact not a good guy. Someone gave it a 5 and said, if you ever doubt yourself, remember that Chucky lost half of his body and literally melted and he didn't give up. Believe in your dreams.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
Someone gave it 3 stars and said, Chucky kicking nonstop for no reason when he's hanging from people's necks to bite them will never not be funny to me. Like, his little legs just Just ding-a-ling-a-ling all over the place, like hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
And make me want to grab him by those moving little legs and throw it on the wall. Someone
It's
said,
hilarious.
someone gave it 4.5 and said, Andy's fits go crazy in this. Get lost, microchip. Best comeback ever. And then someone gave it 2.5 and said, I would also be angry if I was stuck in the body of a doll with the haircut that abysmal. And then someone else gave it 2.5 and said, not every somewhat successful horror movie needs a sequel.
Wow.
And then someone gave it 3 stars and a heart and said, I like the part where Chucky kills someone while saying something snarky. When I was younger, all my dolls and pets and parents had Brad Dourif's voice. And then someone gave it 3 stars and a heart and said, Chucky screaming and oh my gosh, I can't read today again. Incomprehensible agony is the only ASMR I'll ever need.
Oh my gosh.
And then someone gave it 3 stars and said, Chucky is more resilient than a goddamn Terminator.
He is.
Damn.
Someone gave it 4.5 stars and said, someone please give that doll some therapy.
For real.
Someone else gave it 4 stars and said, much better directed than it has any right to be. Love how
Damn.
eccentric and thematic this one is. It's a banger.
A banger. Damn.
Someone gave it 3 stars and said, fun movie. Nice to see a weird little bastard not voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my god. That is true though.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Really?
I feel like
Okay.
this episode went by pretty fast.
I know. Well, you're a part of it a little bit.
Guys, also go follow Richard's band, Upon the Fallen. It's so amazing.
Oh, thanks, Vienna. And follow Vienna's when she does get going. The fruit flies.
Fruit flies, yeah. Our bassist, Arlo, he spray painted fruit fly on his basement wall
Oh
for us
my.
to practice it.
Really?
Wow,
Yes.
going all. Are we gonna do that for our garage?
No.
Oh shit! Don't worry, Vienna. I'll hook
Yeah.
you up.
He moves stuff around and everything for the whole band to practice.
Damn. Well, that's exciting. So when are we gonna see your first show?
I don't know when we get going. Maybe when the drummer gets a real drum set.
What the fuck? You're
Does that have a real drum set yet?
No, she has an electric drum set, but
That's not bad.
But she says she's been working on practicing, and her calves are all
You
built
think
up
Whitman
from
can
it.
teach her?
I don't know.
That'd be tight. Or you could replace her with Whitman and be like, yo, Whitman, let's be the
No.
fruit flies.
Oh my god,
Just throwing it out there. I'll ask
No.
him for you.
that's like me being like, oh Richard, take a step away from your band and your piece of work and what music you want to play, and come play with something you don't want to do.
Hell yeah.
No, you wouldn't. You would have fit and huff and puff and be like,
I'm
no.
like, I don't want to. Fuck this shit.
Exactly.
Angelus, guess what they're making me do?
Go to another birthday party.
Oh my god.
Guys, Richard admitted that sometimes I get under his skin.
But you also admitted sometimes I get under your
You've been
skin.
doing it a lot lately. Like the
Me?
past few days.
What the hell am I doing?
Everything.
You guys send help. I'm stuck in the middle.
Oh my gosh.
Part of it. No, I'm just kidding.
I get under your skin. I'm your mom. That's my job to get under your skin. And it's my job to test Richard's patience.
Test me?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Have you guys ever heard Sex Dwarf by Soft Cell?
I haven't. Is it good?
I'll show it to you in the car.
Is it a song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Do you want the critics' reviews, Ricardo?
Yeah, let's hear.
You know?
Let's
Richard's
hear it.
falling off the horse, off his saddle, from Amazon saddle.
Oh my god.
He's tired. He
So
wants
the
to go
critics' ratings, we have IMDb gave it as 5.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 44%. Metacritic 37%, and Google users an average of 76%.
Ooh.
So middle of the road, and then everyone else who's just a regular watcher, they're like, yes, they like it. Approve.
That was it?
That was it.
That's all you had?
That's all I had.
Ah.
I don't know why this came up on my notes.
So
There's
Google,
a movie critic that
Google-
gave it a 0 stars and called it an ugly little thriller.
Google users have generally been more favorable, with many ratings the film highly due to its nostalgic value and its place within the Chucky franchise. Fans enjoy its balance of horror and humor, and it remains a favorite among slasher enthusiasts. And then, did you bring up Metacritic?
I did went through all of those except for
IMDb, Cinema Score. Child's Play 2 received a B rating for Cinema Score, a service that pulls audience reactions. The score indicates the general audience found it to be solid and entertaining horror sequel, though not necessarily groundbreaking. Do you have anything else you want to cover?
What movie are we watching next week?
That's a good question.
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun, baby!
Goodness.
Another.
You never watched this, huh?
I watched the beginning, like the very 5 minutes.
I'm
and
pumped.
I got bored.
I'm pumped.
You're about to get your mind blown.
You're about to be really bored.
Is it boring?
I don't know. I like it. Leprechaun in the Hood.
I thought it would. No, not
I've
that
heard
one.
of that one.
I love that
It was
one.
fun.
I love the Leprechaun franchise. It's not my favorite, but you can have fun with it. When he goes in space, fuck, dude.
I thought it used to be creepy, but I don't know which.
No,
One
it's
I
definitely not
watched.
creepy.
He's a little asshole.
He is.
That's why he was creepy.
It's like, so you're doing like Chucky knockoff. No, I'm just kidding.
It's its own thing. Do we have any business we have to cover?
Nope. No business.
No business this time. I do want to say my band Upon the Fallen has our first show. So if you're in Richmond, Washington, November 2nd, it's a Saturday, Richmond, Washington, the Tri-Cities area at, what's it called? Ray's?
I don't know, man.
I believe
You're
it-
performing.
I believe it's called Ray's. Be there.
Be there,
Shout
be
out.
square.
Specifically shout out me. It'll give the rest of my
Shout out
bandmates
me.
jealous. They're like, what the fuck? And then I'll be like, yo, I'll take pictures with you. I'll sign autographs. It's cool.
Yeah. If anyone does, please fucking do it and embarrass Richard because he'd be like, I don't want to.
And look for Angelus because she's going to be out there too. She's going to be filming me.
I'm going to be sick.
We don't support him.
Yeah. You just said
I don't.
support Upon the Fallen.
Yeah, they can. I'm not. Just kidding.
I'll be home in the new bungalow just enjoying and getting them used to it and unpacking.
Wow. Okay. I see how this goes. Anyways, November 2nd, Richmond, Washington. It's the,
What time?
I don't know.
How much is cover?
Uh-huh.
I need to know this thing.
How much to get in?
I don't know.
Is it 21 and over or is it 18?
Oh, it's
or is
definitely
it family
21. It's a
friendly?
bar.
Oh,
That's why
Yeah.
I can't support him.
Sorry, Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
We don't play at libraries and stuff, so.
You don't want? Oh.
Although the
What?
library, dude, I'm gonna try to get Upon the Fallen. We're
Oh
a
my
hardcore
God.
metal band, so if we could play at the public library, that'd
so
be fucking
funny.
awesome.
just do a free show downtown.
I will. A show in the park.
Yeah, do it.
We'd have a bunch of those weird, like, that ruin the.
Richards?
No, that ruin the crowds when we have downtown stuff going on. But they're.
Protesters?
Yeah, but the Bible thumpers that are just, they have their loudspeaker and they're just preaching. That would be hilarious.
I can
would
just
do it.
imagine
Metal
them
is
getting
the
caught,
devil's
like,
music.
getting
so.
caught like in the middle of the mosh pit or something. That'd be really funny.
What? I used to love being in the mosh pit.
No, I mean, I said I could see them getting caught in the middle of a mosh pit. Like,
That'd be
people
hilarious.
surrounding them.
I'll be like, start the pit. Yeah, well, okay. Oh, Vienna, how did you like Metallica? Seeing Metallica for the first time?
Oh my God, I couldn't see because the lady in front of me was going and shaking what she did not have. And she
What?
was- yeah, she was like this. She was like, wait, here.
She's gonna dance.
She was like,
She was.
and then she started smoking. I'm pretty sure I have lung cancer now.
How did you like Pantera?
It was really cool.
What about Mammoth?
We didn't see Mammoth.
I know,
bro.
I'm so upset.
Don't even
Couldn't find
tell me.
parking in Seattle, man. Screw Seattle.
The
Wow.
parking, you guys do all
Atrocious.
these things. You could rent a car there, but you can't put extra parking.
Yeah. Lame.
Disappointing.
But you like the concert?
Yeah.
We got some sick shirts, though.
It was good seeing them.
What's our next concert?
I said Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, what's after that one, though? A good concert.
Oh my gosh. We're
Uh,
gonna find someone else to go to Smashing Pumpkins,
the-
Richard.
Well, I want to go to Smashing
No,
Pumpkins.
you're
That'll be
being
fun.
a hater.
What's the one? that
Iron
we're going
Maiden.
to? No, it's before that.
We don't have anything else before that. What?
The Wanda or whatever.
No, that's in November.
Oh, yeah. Then Iron
Well,
Maiden.
Upon the Fallen.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
That's 21 and over.
Iron Maiden. Hell yeah, that's going to be so dope. I've seen them twice before. They're going to be awesome.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Privileged.
Jabroni.
Yeah. All right. You have anything else?
Nothing else.
All right. Well, I won't hold you guys any longer.
Hasta lugosi. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Horror Cinema Obsession. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us next time for another episode of Horror Cinema Obsession.